Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, as we, all of our international friends, gather together, talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, streaming, junk pouches, all sorts of good things. There's some discussion going on before the show started that I won't go into detail. And joining me today, sitting over here, we got Chris Carr. Chris, how you doing?
The person who needs the biggest junk pouch. Bring in all the BDE every single day. How you doing, Internet?
And because it's Wednesday, we're off to a good start. Because it's Wednesday, sitting beside her is Aaron Cummings, and of course, Joey Bishop is there. How you guys doing?
Which I have a very exciting announcement after seeing the latest episode of Obi-Wan. Joey has been hired as a stormtrooper because she has the exact same guarding abilities as the
and probably
stormtroopers
shooting
do.
accuracy.
Yeah.
Oh, she does look adorable. Guys, it is wonderful to have you guys here today. It's going to be a busy day around the John Campea channel. We got, let's see, we've got the show here. We've got a mailbag coming later. We got our Obi-Wan after show. And later tonight, we've got our Captain Marvel, or Ms. Marvel, I should say, after show. So stay tuned for all of that kind of good stuff. Anyway, guys, here's how today's show is going to go. We're going to break it up into two parts. In the first half of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics. Then in the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. Now, how do you get a live comment or question on? That's easy. Number one, you got to be watching live. And number two, once we get to the end of our main topics, I'll announce that we're opening up the super chats. They'll only be open for about 2 or 3 minutes because they fill up fast. But be ready to fire in your thoughts, opinions, theories, questions, whatever it is you guys have. Do me a favor, though. No spoiler stuff as it pertains to Obi-Wan Episode 4 or Ms. Marvel Episode 1. We like to give everybody at least a few hours to watch the shows on that level. Also, want to remind you guys about a couple of things. If you need your daily fix of the John Campea Show, but you can't be in front of a YouTube video, good news. There's an audio-only version called the John Campea Show podcast. Just go on your favorite podcasting app of choice, search for the John Campea Show, and subscribe to it today. We've also got a secondary podcast feed just for Mailbag, and that's just Mailbag, a John Campea Show podcast bonus feed. Go and subscribe to both of those today. All right, guys. With that down, let's do a couple of off the tops here, shall we? And our first off the top is this. One of the greatest lines in cinematic history is, of course, if I asked you, no, wait, let me rephrase. If I let you suck my tongue, would you be grateful? Of course, that comes from the iconic, legendary movie Face Off. And I don't know if you guys heard, but they're making another Face Off. Now, I proposed the world's greatest idea when they announced this a year or so ago. I said, if you're going to do another Face Off, it's got to be Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. I mean, that's what you do for Face Off for this round, or, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart. One of the two, but those two combinations will work. Well, Adam Wingard, of course, director Adam Wingard, he's been tasked with doing, overseeing the script, and he's going to do the next Face Off, but he's now had a change of direction because now he absolutely wants Nicolas Cage in this movie. This comes to us from the folks at IndieWire. Let me read it because this is actually kind of insightful. He writes this. Godzilla vs. Kong director Adam Wingard has been preparing a script for the sequel to John Woo's 1997 action classic starring Cage and John Travolta as mobster and police officer who go undercover as each other and trade places and faces. We're really honing in on it, Wingard told Empire magazine. We're not going to share it until everybody's like, this is the one. Now, despite Cage's character seemingly dying off in the original film, Face Off 2 will be an quote-unquote absolute sequel that would resurrect his character. He's just having such a moment. Even before Pig came out, we saw this as a Nicolas Cage movie, Wingard said. That's become totally the obvious way to go now. A couple of years ago, the studio maybe would have wanted a hot, young, up-and-coming actor or something. Now, Nicolas Cage is one of the hottest actors in Hollywood again. So it looks like not only are we getting a Face Off 2, it looks like Nick Cage is going to be back again. Look, Nick Cage is riding a hot streak right now between Pig and Mandy and the unbearable weight of
massive talent.
Massive talent. I was going to say of underrated talent, of massive talent, which I'll be honest, I didn't like as much as most people, but I did enjoy it. Nicolas Cage's name is completely hot again. And the idea of him coming back. Now, of course, the big question will become, if they do end up moving this way with Face Off 2, and they're going to bring Nick Cage back, do you find a way, or do you bother with bringing John Travolta back? because we are talking about two opposite ends of the spectrum. While I love me some John Travolta Santa Claus commercials on TV where he's doing that discount thing, whatever it is.
They are sweet.
Yeah, especially when he's talking to Samuel L. Jackson. It's good to have that. But, the world kind of belongs to Nick Cage right now. John Travolta's not on that kind of a hot streak. So I don't know. Do you bring John Travolta back? Do you go with another actor? Maybe a Josh Brolin this time. Or do you just swap the same faces or do you swap different faces now? Anyway, Chris, you're hearing about this. Do you think Face Off 2 with Nick Cage becomes a bigger draw to people? Do you think they bring back John Travolta as well? And do you have any excitement for this whatsoever? What do you think?
I mean, I'd see it. Who wouldn't see it, right? It's people swapping faces. What could be better? And I love that they're just like, he died maybe, but probably not, so let's just bring him back. There doesn't need to be logic. People are already swapping faces because that was the easiest way to go undercover. So, we don't have to deal with any logical fallacies here. I do like the idea of bringing back John, though. I think that'd be really fun because how did Nick get this big resurgence? People took chances on him. People put him in things because both are fantastic actors. And just because you made a few bad choices, maybe your management team gave you a couple clunkers that you signed off on, doesn't mean that negates your inherent acting ability. And I do like John Travolta a lot, and I think they have great chemistry and work really well off of each other. If they put somebody else in, though, my butt would still be in a seat.
You raise a great point. Because the thing to me that made Face Off the glorious piece of cinematic history that it is was how well Nicolas Cage acted like John Travolta and how well John Travolta nailed Nicolas Cage.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It's uncanny.
They did that really well. Aaron, you're hearing about this. Do you have any interest in a Face Off 2? And what do you think about, bringing back Nick Cage? Should they also get John Travolta? What are you thinking?
I am on board with my trusty colleague here. I really don't see how you bring back Nicolas Cage without bringing back John Travolta. And, that quote that you read is so perfect. He's having such a moment right now. A few years ago, they might have wanted this up and coming young actor, but now he's the hot actor. Hollywood really is that place where no one wants you to sit at their table until everyone wants you to sit at their table. And it is so Hollywood is high school, just FYI, in case you didn't already know. And this quote right here absolutely proves it. But also, they clearly are still in the midst of writing the script. By the quote also, it gave an indication that, they're not ready to release exactly what the movie is about. They're still honing it. They're working on it. And so what I glean from that is, okay, we know that right now Nicolas Cage is hot, so we're just going to try to figure out how to make this work. And so I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what they're going to do. But really, I think that Nicolas Cage is going to want to go, okay, well, who are you going to have me work opposite? And you know what? Maybe it's not even him that's swapping faces. Maybe he is doing something totally different.
Yeah,
and
that's
two
true.
other hot, young, up-and-coming actors are going to be swapping faces. And it's also going to be interesting just to see how that technology works, because unlike in 1997 when the original film came out, we now actually, medically, face transplants are a thing. Not swapping, but there are soldier. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No. No, this has been around for a few years.
Yeah, it has been. They've done this for soldiers who have had terrible, accidents overseas while serving. There have been actual face transplants or not reconstruction, but and so it's just gonna be interesting to see how this how the technology of this is told as compared to several decades ago when that was just not even a real possibility.
Now, when you start mentioning the hot young actors, I've got it. You do Face Off to mentor Nicolas Cage, and you got Ryan Gosling and John David Washington. That is your Face Off sequel right there. Hollywood, you're welcome. Make it happen. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Are you down for a Face Off 2 if Nicolas Cage is going to be there? If so, do you want John Travolta? Should they be swapping faces again? Should they be passing it off to a younger generation? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's do one more off the top, and that is this. Some of you guys will remember that back in 1987, they announced that they were going to do a Blade movie with Mahershala Ali. At least it feels like it was 1987, right around
Really?
the time when they were making Stranger Things. It has been a long ass time It has been a long ass time since they announced Blade. Now, of course, the pandemic happened, production stopped, a wrench was thrown into the works of everything. We get it. I totally do understand that. But we've been kind of waiting to see when we're going to see him. Now, we've heard him. We heard Mahershala Ali as Blade in the post-credit scene of Eternals. That was kind of cool. But when are we going to see him? Well, it looks like they are finally ready to start shooting a Blade movie. This comes to us from the folks over at CBR, who wrote the following. The Film and Television Industry Alliance's productionlist.com has updated its listing for Blade, stating that the film will begin production on July 4th. According to the listing, the movie will shoot in Atlanta, Georgia, like most Marvel films, and in New Orleans, and a lot of production's been going on in New Orleans. Outside of that date and location, the listing also has a brief synopsis for Blade that mirrors the reported one that popped up last year, and it's a recognizable one. He is known to be a vampire hunter, half mortal, half immortal, and tries to rid the world of vampires as a way of avenging his mother, who was killed by a vampire as she gave birth to him. Of course, that's the classic thing there. Now, whether that's the actual storyline they're going to follow in this movie, or whether that's just like the general synopsis of Blade and they're throwing that in there, who knows? But the key thing here is it's actually happening. Mahershala Ali, while being one of the greatest actors in the world right now, a two-time Academy Award winning actor, Mahershala Ali, the reality is I mean, I have to check my facts on this. I'm not a medical doctor, but he is several years older now than he was when they announced him. I'm pretty sure he's older now.
Is that what happens when
I think
years
so.
go by?
I mean, yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not an expert on biology, but I'm pretty sure he's even older now than he was before. And so there actually even been some whispers around about they might replace Mahershala Ali because of the years-long delay in getting this thing going, to which a lot of us are like, you don't need to do that. But anyway, here we are. They're moving forward, and it's going to be Mahershala Ali as Blade. This probably means we're looking at a late 2023, early 2024 release, I'm going to guess, for a Blade movie at this point. Look, I have no idea what direction they're going to go. All I know is that Blade is a great character. They got one of the world's greatest thespians playing him. We're just going to see how this thing works out. I'm excited they're finally getting started. Anyway, Chris, you hear about this, finally getting going on Blade. Did you ever have any doubts? I admit, I started to wonder if this thing was ever going to happen, but what do you think about the news?
I mean, a fun fact is that this movie and me were conceived at the same time. So that's pretty cool. I'm really excited about that. Happy birthday, Blade. I'm so happy this is coming to fruition. So Mahershala Ali is 48, which in terms of Marvel male actors is not too old.
It's actually like 24.
Yeah, basically.
It's like you're 24, but to start, like in your first outing as the character, that's a little bit on the older side.
I mean, I know he's a daywalker and everything, but I like a haggard Blade. I like a world-weary, I've seen some shit Blade, especially dealing with Kit Harington's plucky nonsense that we're going to have, right? I think this works really nicely for him. I'm so excited this film is finally taken off. Filming on the 4th of July, what could be more American than filming a story about some vampire hunter nonsense? I hope they learn from Morbius, though, right? We don't need a lot of blood. We don't need that to happen for a movie to be good and fun.
Or gory. Look at Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, exactly. It's been so terrifying. Eye violence. But we do need to appreciate and respect some vampire lore. We can have fun with it. We can marvelize a lot of things. But I hope that they make this a truly horrifying and sinister look at this kind of more dark and supernatural aspect of the Marvel Universe.
Aaron, you're hearing about this. It sounds like they're finally going into production of Blade. Where's your anticipation level for this?
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. I loved the initial, the trilogy previously. I even liked Trinity. And I thought that was the moment that I went, oh, hi, Ryan Reynolds. Well, hello there. No, I thought that the original was great, and considering that he does have this unbearable weight of massive talent, Mahershala Ali does, for him to continue being attached to this project after such a long time, that also tells me something about this, because a lot of times, actors, a lot of us were just like, ooh, squirrel, we get very excited about one thing and then something else exciting comes along and attracts our attention. And with Mahershala Ali, it's not like he is beholden to any one project. There's always creative outs in contracts. If something,
especially with these kinds of delays,
absolutely 100%.
he could have walked from this 5 different reasons.
Easily. And he also could have just said, hey, you know what? I'm not as passionate about this as I was 4 years ago or whatever, whenever I originally started. And a lot of things have happened over the course of that time on the planet. Maybe some of you have noticed we've been through a couple things.
What happened?
Right? And so clearly either there are changes in the script that have tracked with where our public awareness is now, how we see things, or the story was just so solid that it still stands up today. And so that to me says Mahershala Ali, if he's still on board, that the story itself is something that he believes in. And I'm excited about that. I'm also really stoked that this has a Halloween release. That is a great release for anything in the horror, vampire, thriller genre and I think that Halloween
if they can keep that release date. I am wondering if that release date was originally kind of targeted with a bit of an earlier start date in production.
Well, yeah, because with a July 4th production start, that gives them well over a year and some change to do all the post-production, all the special effects that are clearly going to be needed. So, and it feels like with this much of a delay, all of the little things that might need to be worked out along the way probably have been worked out up to this point. So I hope that they're just going to hit the ground running and that we're going to be able to all, with the exclusion of Chris Carr, go see this on Halloween 2023.
I'll see this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be
This
straight
one-
up
This
horror.
one will be fine.
Okay.
Well, unless, of
Then
course,
we'll-
Blade starts plucking out vampires'
If there's
eyeballs.
eyeball nonsense, then I'm throwing everything.
I want to ask Ray. Ray, you got any interest in? I can't remember if you're like a Blade guy or not. You got any interest in this?
Blade is like my number one.
Really?
Yeah, Marvel.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love Blade. Like I mentioned on a show a while back, he was on Trevor Noah, right?
Mahershala Ali?
And Mahershala Ali, and he was asked about Blade. He said he had started training like a week before that to do this thing because it takes a long time to train because he wants to be able to do the things Wesley did, the kicks and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a few months ago. So I'm not surprised that it's not starting production until now. But what I do find worrying is on IMDb, there's a director listed, but it still says rumored. So I'm like, what? Who's attached to this movie? Or like, I don't even know.
Yeah,
So,
I don't officially know yet either. There's been several names batted around, but I'm not even sure 100%.
but I am super excited for this movie, for sure.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? It sounds like Blade is finally going into production. Are you excited about it? I know that I am. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Mahershala Ali, this is his first outing is as Blade. We're going to see him on screen. We had a first sponsor on the John Campea Show. It was the good folks over at Upside. Check this out. Hey guys, we want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Upside. You guys remember a while ago, I started using Upside. Upside is an incredible, easy to use app for buying groceries, dining out, or even buying gas. And with every purchase you make at those shops, restaurants, or gas stations, you are earning cash back thanks to Upside. When I started using Upside, I was incredibly impressed with just how easy the app is to use and how easy it is to start accumulating cash that I can deposit directly into my bank account, PayPal, Amazon gift card, many different ways. And like I said, I was incredibly impressed at just how easy and simple and straightforward the process is to start getting cash back now. To get started, just download the free Upside app in the Apple App Store or Google Play. Use my promo code CAMPEA, that's CAMPEA, and get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Once you've got the app, just claim an offer for whatever it is you're buying on Upside. Check in at the business, pay as usual with a debit card or a credit card, and get paid. Download the free Upside app and use promo code Campea Show to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more using the promo code Campea Show. And thank you to our friends at Upside for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Okay, guys, with that down, let's get into our main topics here today, shall we? And how do we select our main topics on the show? Well, it's easy. You guys come up with our main topics. See, whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys think we need to have as a main topic on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Our first topic is going to come from Patrick Brown. Hello, Campea crew. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. A couple weeks ago, you guys talked about J.J. Abrams' Demimonde series being in potential jeopardy because of its huge budget. Well, it's no longer in jeopardy, as it's no longer even happening. What are your thoughts on this series cancellation, and do you think it's just the first of what could be many bad robot projects to feel the axe of Zaslav?
All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in. And what's the name of the show? Demimonde?
We looked up the
Demimonde?
pronunciation.
Demimonde.
There we go.
Demimonde. And what
Demimonde.
did that mean again?
The class of women considered to be of doubtful morality and social standing. Also see Chris Carr and Aaron Cumming.
There we go. My co-host on the show, ladies, Demimonde.
Demimonde.
Yay.
Whatever it's going to be called. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
But
where
then
you
it sounds like Digimon. That's
That's
how we
right.
remember it.
Digimon. Okay. Loose French women. That's right. That's what you said.
Women, how does the song go?
Digimon are the champions.
Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. Yeah, you guys will remember that we talked about this the other day when news kind of came out that, the new high grand poobah over there at All Things Warner Brothers, David Zaslav, was not happy with some of the details and the arrangement and the deal that Warner Brothers had with Bad Robot. He wasn't happy that Warner Brothers hadn't really seen anything come out of that deal yet. And he was particularly curious about a $200 million plus production budget for this show, Demimonde, that has no background, no pre-existing IP, nothing like that, which makes it more expensive than the upcoming Game of Thrones show, House of the Dragon. To which they said, why for? I mean, like, why are we spending $200+ million on this show that nobody knows? We have no idea if anybody's going to watch it, versus under $200 million that we're spending on a Game of Thrones show that we know we're going to get a lot of eyeballs on it. And so we kind of talked about the fact that J.J. Abrams and team drew a line in the sand that said, nope, we are sticking by it. We made an agreement for $200 million plus. We're going to stick with $200 million plus. At the time of which I said, hey, I don't blame them. If you made a deal, there's nothing wrong with you holding your ground and saying you made a deal with us, so we're sticking to it. But even though I get your right to hold your ground, you got to understand that the person writing the checks, they've got a little bit of leeway here. If they don't want to spend that much money, they may not want to spend that much money. And sure enough, the axe of Zaslav has fallen once again because this project is no longer happening at HBO Max. This comes to us from the good folks over at The Hollywood Reporter, who write the following. As expected, Demimonde will not be moving forward at HBO. The series has officially been passed over by the premium cable network following issues surrounding the show's sprawling budget. Sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that Abrams made a last-ditch plea to HBO/HBO Max boss, the HBO Max boss. Ultimately, the decision was made to part ways with the series, for which Abrams had sought a budget north of $200 million. By comparison, HBO's upcoming Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon, clocked in at less than $200 million. Abrams was also slated to direct the pilot for Demimonde, which has already changed showrunners since it landed at HBO in 2018 following a bidding war with Apple. And that, of course, comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter. Now, at this point, J.J. Abrams and Warner Brothers Television and all that kind of stuff, they now have the right to shop this show around. So they're going to go to Apple Plus, which JJ is doing some stuff with. They're going to take this thing probably to Peacock. They're probably going to take it to Netflix. They're going to shop it around, see if they can get somebody to pick it up for $200+ million. And some people would say, well, wait a minute. Why can they shop it around? Well, the reason they can shop it around is because these deals are basically called first look deals. And all of first look the show, he has to give the option first to HBO and say, here, you have the first choice if you want to make this or not. And if they say, no, we don't want to make it, you can take that away. I have in my career signed several first look deals. And all that meant was if I had a show idea, I had to first go to this company and say, you get dibs on this idea. And if you don't want to do it, then I can take the idea and go somewhere else with it. So that's probably what this thing here is. Look, on the one hand, I totally get J.J. Abrams holding his ground. They made a deal. He's got a vision for a show. He wants it to be for $200 million. Fine. And he might even find a sucker to do it. And that sucker might be Apple, who has more money than the universe.
Yeah.
So, and they can buy and sell HBO 17 times over. So that might be a destination. Maybe an Amazon might be a destination. Or maybe nobody's is going to go, why would we pay $200 million for a series that has no recognizable IP? So I don't know. Chris, are you surprised that ultimately this thing got cut? And do you think this show gets picked up somewhere at the full $200+ million budget? Or do you think maybe somebody will pick it up for like $150 million budget? I don't know. What do you think?
I'm not particularly surprised just because Zaslav has been going around, not with a scalpel, but with a machete.
Yeah.
He is cutting budgets. He is tying up things and making sure that this ship is very nice and tight, right? And so when there wasn't wiggle room on this budget, it made sense to me that this was not going to go through ultimately. What stands out to me is it does make me nervous about original IPs, especially when it comes from somebody like a JJ, right? Because what a great brain. What wonderful products. What wonderful films we've gotten from that, right? I know through his deal, he also has things with some existing IP, Bad Robot, at least I should say, for The Places You Go and a Hot Wheels movie and other things that I'm frankly not as interested in as this concept. I think something like an Apple TV would pick it up. I think they might try to negotiate the budget still a little more, maybe shave off, 10, 20 mil off of that, just to make it a little more reasonable. But I feel like this definition of this word and the idea of this show, this kind of renegade misfits in space, I think it was ultimately, seems very up Apple's alley, both in terms of something that's kind of missing from their roster right now, and also just an ideology and concept. It seems very, very Apple TV. So I think that'd be the smart move.
See, it doesn't make me worry about original unique IP, because most, dare I say, no original unique IP comes into a studio says, and we need $200 million to make
That's
this,
very
right?
true.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if that was the case, if this was like, oh, we wanted $75 million to make this show, and they were counting, I go, oh, that puts you worried. But I'm not really worried about
That's
it
true.
being
We live
for
in
200.
a world with everything everywhere all at once. That's
Yes.
proven that you can do so very much for so very
So
little.
very, very little. Aaron, you hear about this. Number one, are you surprised that ultimately HBO and Bad Robot parted ways with Demimonde? And do you see somebody else picking it up for the full $200+ million that J.J. Abrams wants for it?
Well, I'm definitely not surprised because when there's smoke, there's usually fire. If you hear a rumor about something happening in Hollywood, and we discussed this, whether it was last week, 2 weeks ago, I forget when it came up, but that there was a rumor that there were financial concerns with Demimonde, and clearly here we are seeing the results of it. So the smoke clearly indicated that there was fire. Another thing that in this quote from the Hollywood Reporter that's concerning to me, when it says it has already changed showrunners since it landed at HBO in 2018, following a bidding war at Apple. This says, okay, Apple already wanted this project. So there's two things just in that one sentence. Number one, Apple already lost this property. With the fact that if there was a bidding war, it makes me question whether or not there was a first look deal. Because if there was a first look deal, then why was there a bidding war?
That's true. Yep,
If
that's
there was
a really
a first
good
look
point.
deal, there shouldn't have been a bidding war. It should have just been like, well, our first look deal is with HBO. They get the first right of refusal. And hey, we've also snuck this to some people at Apple. So if HBO is, not really sure about it, no problem. We'll just go to Apple. They can afford it. They want it. No problem. So that's already a first red, like something that just makes my spidey sense go, what's going on here? My second thing is the fact that it's already changed showrunners. Now, that could have been something, I mean, who knows what that actually meant. But for those of you out there who are like, what is a showrunner? A showrunner is ultimately the head writer. They are the person that is in charge of all of the scripts, and they also do they do all the hiring for the writing staff. They hire a lot of the directors. Their hands are in everything.
They ultimately decide where the show goes.
They and the creator, which is not necessarily always the showrunner. Like Shonda Rhimes was the showrunner of Grey's Anatomy, and then from there she became the executive producer and creator of many other shows. But that doesn't mean she wasn't the showrunner of those shows. So just to give you a little reference on that. So the fact that the showrunner is a very important piece of this puzzle of actually creating what the show is going to be. And the fact that this show already changed hands on such a major creative level, that also makes me wonder if there was just not a lot of confidence in the project itself when it came down to it. I do think that this could live somewhere else, but also I'm wondering, is this a Zaslav call, Or is this a call for the head of HBO, who is Casey Bloys? And Casey Bloys, back in 2019, was quoted in the Hollywood Reporter as saying, "We have enough money to compete with all of our rivals."
Yeah, that was before Zaslav's age.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but that's what I'm saying is we're seeing in this quote that this was an HBO decision. Was it a Warner Brothers decision or was it an HBO decision? Because the show is still under the umbrella of Warner Brothers, correct? But it's now going to be shopped out to other
Warner Brothers
streamers?
Television is going to be the production company behind it.
Right. So Warner Brothers, Zaslav is still involved. It's just HBO that's not involved. So that's why I wonder, like, who's actually making this decision? It sounds like it's Casey Bloys over at HBO, not necessarily Zaslav. Although, you know, Zaslav is slashing left and right. We're going to give him credit for everything not happening in Hollywood right now, but it might have been someone else not having to do with him at all. Either
But
way.
we know from the story last week that the story in Variety like specifically laid out that Zaslav particularly called into question and wanted the Bad Robot deal brought in front of him. And he expressed a lot of problems with the deal, including the Demimonde thing. So it does.
Right, but then why is it now being shopped to other streamers? Because if it's still being produced by Warner Brothers.
But remember, there's a church and state relationship between a lot of the production. It's the same reason why I think Lucifer wasn't Lucifer a Warner Brothers television production?
Yeah.
But it was on Fox Television. So why wasn't it on there? So there's a little bit of a church and state between the production company and then ultimately the network, how much the network has to pay for it. Because on the books, and we're spending way too much time on this, but on the books, you still have to show how you got to compete because of all the talent agreements and who has back end deals and things like that. Mm-hmm. You still got to pay for it on fair market value. And so that can become a really weird thing. That's why you see CBS television shows popping up on ABC and all that.
I just think
kind of
there
stuff.
is something in deal making. Like, I know that whenever we've gone in to negotiate some contracts, I've always been like, okay, I really want to do this project. So get me the most money and the most perks, but don't lose the job, because agents absolutely can talk themselves out of a job. And so this is a situation where I just go, hey, JJ, maybe you go, hey, we'll work on this, but like, we want to make this happen. How can we compromise?
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? We heard that there were problems with this show, and now it's no longer going to be on HBO. Can it find life somewhere else? Does an Apple TV, who did bid on it before, go, you rejected us before. I don't know that we want to play with you now. Or is business? I don't know. What do you guys think is going to happen here? Jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 2. Chris, what is our second main topic today?
Topic number 2 is coming from John Atwell. Hey, John and crew. Hope y'all are doing excellent today. I'm sending this before the release of the Black Adam trailer, hoping that when this airs, y'all will have seen it. I'm wondering what are your thoughts on the trailer and did it increase your excitement? I also have a feeling in my bones that the reshoots that happened recently may have been to add a Superman cameo. Thoughts? Thanks and have a good day.
Okay, so first off, let's address that last point. Your bones are wrong. All of these superhero movies now, like Marvel started doing it about 8, 9, 10 years ago, but all superhero movies now, when they start production, they already plan for reshoot dates. They already plan for them. So because these movies have so much money invested in them and the stakes are so high that they plan in advance that they're going to. So reshoots were happening regardless. Probably 90% had nothing to do with Henry Cavill. So just remove that out of it. Now, that's not to say Henry Cavill can't pop in it, but they certainly, I can 100% guarantee you, they didn't go, well, let's do reshoots so we can include Henry Cavill. That didn't happen. I can absolutely assure you.
He doesn't have a mustache right now. Let's take advantage of it.
Right now, no Paramount is involved here. No mustache. We got to digitally remove. So here's the thing. You're writing in asking, you're saying, I hope you guys have seen it already. We actually saw this trailer over a month ago. The Black Adam trailer that dropped today, of course, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson got on social media the other day saying, new Black Adam trailer coming Wednesday. All excited about it. And of course, I sat down then to watch it this morning. And Chris, you were saying, this looks really familiar. Yeah. We forgot that they showed us this trailer at CinemaCon and that they never released it to the public. So we kind of I didn't realize they never ultimately released it. So this was the trailer they showed us at CinemaCon well over a month ago. All right, what do I think about it? It didn't blow my socks off, but I quite liked it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really do quite like it. First of all, number one, visually, Dwayne Johnson looks awesome as Black Adam. He looks absolutely phenomenal as Black Adam, both when he's just standing there Like that. Also, when he's shrouded in the robe and everything like that, the look of him is fantastic. I absolutely love the look. Pierce Brosnan, I'll watch anything with Pierce Brosnan in it, and him being Dr. Fate and all, and like him kind of narrating his way through it. Love that sort of thing. This shot right here, I laughed out loud when we were in Las Vegas when we saw this shot right here. When they bends and then he goes sailing, flying out of the out into the ocean. That was really good. I love the whole thing about the little narrative they gave that his son gave his life so he can live. He's angry, he's bitter, all that kind of stuff. I'll say it. It's a good trailer. It's a good trailer. I didn't think it was great. Like I said, it didn't blow me away, but I quite enjoyed it. And so, but you know me, I've been looking forward to Black Adam anyway. So does this trailer, is it good enough to increase my excitement? Yeah. I mean, not by tenfold, but it does increase my excitement. I like what I saw. Anyway, Chris, you saw the trailer again. What did you think about the Black Adam trailer this time around?
This morning, I had this whole thing of, this all feels very familiar. And then I totally forgot about CinemaCon. It looks great. It really, really does. But, I mean, we recently reported on Dwayne talking about how this was going to blow our minds. This is going to be such a good trailer. And Dwayne, my man, you are so great at hyping things up.
He really is.
It looks good. It looks like a very, very good superhero film, and I am very excited about it, particularly for Pierce Brosnan as well. I love him. I used to watch reruns of Remington Steele as a kid, and he was my James Bond. I love him very much. And so to have him playing Dr. Fate, who's such a fascinating character, I'm so, so excited for that. All the effects in this look really, really great. I love that we have a superhero, too, who's not wearing fake muscles. Come on. Come through, Rock. I think it's going to be a really, really fun romp. Did it increase my excitement? It kind of just kept the needle where it is, if I'm being honest.
Right. Aaron, you don't remember seeing this at CinemaCon, so didn't...
I'm like, was I in the bathroom?
You had to pee so badly.
Yeah, maybe
I feel like
that
was
this
that's
panel.
my main memory of CinemaCon is just having to go to the bathroom all the time. So clearly I was in the bathroom. No, I remember the second half of this trailer for some reason. Sarah Shahi, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but she was wonderful on that CBS show that she did. My husband was a guest star on that show. I forget what it was called, but she's great. And yes, I agree. I love being able to see the big action star superhero and look at him and go, that is not a fake muscle. That is not padding. That is all you, bro. And actually believing no matter what he's doing, like I actually believe when that person goes to hit him over the head with that crowbar, that his head actually stopped the crowbar and made it bend. I fully believe that. So I'm just going to accept that there's no CGI in this whatsoever because it is Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Effects.
And what I have come to love from seeing anything that Dwayne Johnson does is that he also imbues every character with a little bit of his sense of humor.
Yeah.
You know, even back when he was saying, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Like there was always a little twinkle in his eye. There was always that iconic eyebrow raise. I don't think we're going to see the eyebrow raise because that's The Rock. That's not Black Adam. But there is something about his brand of comedy that he just slides in, even when he's playing characters who are supposed to be moody, broody, and super serious, like Black Adam. We're going to have a little bit of his flavor. And I like that because we need moments of levity amongst all of the, you know, as my mom would call it, the shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to risk giving a spoiler away because I am 99% sure that this is not true. Okay, I am 99% sure that this isn't true. So 99% this is not a spoiler. I was told, and the reason I remember talking is I don't believe for a second that it's real, but you just brought something up that reminded me of it, that there is a scene in the movie that takes place but Dwayne The Rock Johnson's character apparently is not there. Takes place in a restaurant where there is one of those stone pizza ovens.
Oh, okay.
And somebody makes a comment of, it's like something smells delicious. And to which somebody says, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Now,
If that's in this movie, I'm going to stand up and just be like, no.
so now
How dare anyone suggest it?
do not believe that is true. I do not believe that is
Ray
true.
and I are leaving.
But if it did happen while Chris is getting up to walk up, I will probably be standing up to go,
Yep. I'll be right there with you. I'll be like, snap for that.
Although
No,
I
you'll
do
shut
not
it
believe,
down.
I do not believe that is actually going to happen.
I will say too, regardless of how you feel about the story or how you feel about the reshoots or the execution of this or anything, I think every single comic book fan can agree that we finally, for the first time, have a character who looks like an Alex Ross drawing. That has not happened before, and that's something that'll get you excited.
I mean, look, and again, it reminds me a little bit of like, I remember when watching Man of Steel, and in a completely just envious sort of way, in the first act of the film, when Clark comes walking out of the ocean and he's just got his Hulk torn jeans on and no shirt, and you're like, a human being is not supposed to look like that. And so you kind of buy into it, but with The Rock, I feel like they just paint the Black Adam costume on him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what it feels like. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Did you have a chance to see this Black Adam trailer? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did it increase your excitement? Did it not move the needle? Do you really think they're going to have smelling what The Rock is cooking joke in the thing? It really is not going to be there. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys, before we keep going, we want to take another second to thank another sponsor of today's episode of the John Campea Show, the good folks over at Liquid IV. We want to take a minute and thank the sponsors of this video, Liquid IV. Now listen, just one stick of Liquid IV added to 16 ounces of water will hydrate you faster and more efficiently than just water alone. It contains 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and of course vitamin C, with 3 times the electrolytes as traditional sports drinks. And what makes Liquid IV so effective is the science of cellular transport technology, or CTT. You see, it's designed to enhance rapid absorption of water and other key ingredients into your bloodstream faster and more efficiently. You know, Ann and I get up pretty early in the morning to go to the gym because we can't go to the gym at any other time during the day. And for the last couple of weeks, I have been drinking 1 full glass of water with Liquid IV. And all I can tell you is you can feel the difference during the workout. So go and grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code CAMPEA at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use the promo code CAMPEA, that's CAMPEA, at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today when you go to liquidiv.com, and remember, use the promo code at checkout, CAMPEA. And thank you to the folks at Liquid IV for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move on to our third main topic today. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
This one's going to come from Erica K. Hey, John and team. Okay, I just watched the first episode of Ms. Marvel, and it was a great change of pace from the other MCU content we usually get. Iman Vellani is going to be America's next huge sweetheart. How can you not love her? I mean, love her! The humor, the charm, and the characters all got me right away. I'm not really familiar with the comics, so I'm not sure how true it is to the source material, but I don't care. I thought it was great. What did you guys think?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Erica. And yeah, last night, usually Tuesday nights are pretty late night for around the Campea house, because usually that's when Disney drops their premium shows, whether it's a Mandalorian and a Marvel show, whatever. So of course, Obi-Wan was coming out. Stayed up to watch Obi-Wan. We'll talk about Obi-Wan in a bit. But they dropped 2 new shows last night. So I had to watch Obi-Wan, and then I watched Ms. Marvel. Now, I've liked what I said. I thought the trailer for Ms. Marvel was very charming. We talked the other day that Ms. Marvel has the highest critic rating of any Marvel property ever. Wow. In its opening thing. I think it was at like 98% or something like that. Now, it made me enthusiastic for sure. But a lot of the things I heard made me think, you know what, this is probably going to be really good, but probably not completely for me, like whatever, but it looked like it had a lot of charm. So I sat down and I watched Ms. Marvel yesterday. And I will say this. This is the first great thing that a Marvel Disney Plus show has done since WandaVision. I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it wasn't great. I liked Loki, but it wasn't great. I liked Moon Knight, but it wasn't great. I didn't like Hawkeye. So when I started watching this show, Ms. Marvel, last night, and again, we're going to do an open spoiler discussion at 7 p.m. Los Angeles time. That's 10 p.m. on the East Coast later, so make sure you come back and join us for the open spoiler, but we're not going to spoil things here. But when I sat down and started watching this, within 2 minutes, I was completely hooked. The visual stylings of it, some visual storytelling tropes that they did. and it's the best way I know how to describe it. And I said this on Twitter earlier today. Ms. Marvel is if John Hughes directed My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yep.
That's what this show is. And I mean that in every conceivable positive way. I fell in love with her. I fell in love with her mother. I fell in love with her dad.
Oh, her dad.
I ended up loving her brother. The whole thing, I mean, it's predicated around this. There's an event. There's something called Avengers Con. Avengers Con, which I also thought was fantastic. The way they use visuals and all these sorts of things to tell the story. You know, I remember after watching Turning Red, which is about, you know, an Asian family growing up in Canada. You watch Turning Red and you realize we all have the same story, whether you come from this culture, that culture, whatever. They're just slight variations on it. We all have that mother. We all have those problems in high school. And as I'm watching this, it clearly leans heavily into the cultural distinctiveness of her family. But at the same time, you're like, and yet that's my mom. And yet that's my siblings. And yet that's my high school. And there's something beautiful about the human experience on that level as you can transcend from culture to culture, but you realize there are these core things that make us all absolutely the same. But it was funny. It was endearing. God, I love this character. I love this character. And it feels so good because how long ago was WandaVision now? A year and a half ago?
I believe so, yeah.
For the first time in a year and a half, I can say that Marvel on Disney Plus has put out something truly great. This is great. Now, granted, it's one episode, right? I thought the first episode of Obi-Wan was fantastic, but it's the first episode. This thing could fall off a cliff in upcoming episodes. Absolutely, it could. But it just feels like I don't see how this thing is going to lose its ground. It just feels like it's just got its solid footing in fantastic, endearing characters that we all instantly attach to. There's just a great scene where her big brother comes into her room to kind of have her back on something. And I'm watching that. I'm just like, I love this character. Like, I love this relationship. I love this dynamic. And there's a scene in the episode, I'm not going to say what happens, but where Kamala her parents tried to do something really nice for her that was completely horrifying to her, but I'm watching that and I'm sitting beside Dan. I'm like, my heart is breaking. My heart is breaking right now. Watching a stupid like Marvel Disney Plus show. I honestly cannot get over how good this show is. It's totally different pace. I mean, the person who wrote in the email is absolutely right. It's a totally different pace from other things. I have not seen Marvel do anything like this before. I adored it. And you guys probably have seen the headlines going all over the place. I won't say what it is, but make sure you watch the post-credit scene because there is a direct tie-in to one of the Marvel movies in the post-credit scene. So just make sure you find it's hard to watch. It's hard to find. I mean, you got to fast forward through the credits because there's like 5 minutes of credits, but it's a short post-credit scene. So if you're not careful, you'll skip right over it. This show's great. Watch Ms. Marvel. Anyway, Aaron, you had a chance to watch Ms. Marvel. I think you watched it this morning.
I watched it at 6 o'clock this morning.
What did you think about it?
I had to wake up extra early. You know what? I agree. I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, this looks really cute. But ultimately, what I loved about it was that it was so it was everyone's story. You know, everyone knows what it's like to to have those kind of parents, to have something that you want to go to, whether it's a rock concert or a party with your friends. And I actually loved how AvengerCon was so similar. If you've ever been to CinemaCon and you've been down on the trade floor, I mean, it really brought back so many memories of times of going to the trade floor of Comic-Con that maybe go back. But where would I stay? There's no hotels. They're all booked. So if you ever been to Comic-Con, let me know. But it was, I really thought that was fun. I thought that the commitment to it was fantastic. I mean, I actually want to go back just to see them on the trade floor at AvengerCon, to go back through and pause to see all the little Easter eggs that are in there. I love the relationship that she has with her best friend, and that's all that I will say about who that person is. But I thought that was such a beautiful, heartfelt connection where you see that, you know, they really have this great, I've got your back, I'm here for you. The way that they play with each other, even when the camera is zooming back, you see it from afar.
Yeah.
You see that connection that they have. I didn't love her mom, and maybe it was because it was a little too triggering for me being, growing up in a military household. It was a little bit like, oh God, I'm feeling some flashbacks, but yeah, that moment with her parents was so heartbreaking because I feel like also the first time that you don't make your parents angry, but you actually hurt their feelings, that's when you go, oh, wow, mom and dad are people. I didn't realize that. So that's really heartbreaking. And also, he only had one scene, but I love Mr. Wilson. And that is
we saw him in the trailer. He was in one of the trailers.
That is a character who could easily be so over the top. I mean, on paper, you go, okay, well, that's just like this over the top character that could be so, unbelievable. But the actor played it so grounded and honest that you go, I believe that you are a guidance counselor or a vice principal or just a teacher. I believe that you exist in the world in 2022. And I think that what I also love about this will be my last point, is I like the fact that we are establishing who she is. It wasn't just like
what she does.
Right, because so many of the Marvel shows that we've seen, coming out of the MCU, they've all been like jumping straight to the action. And while, yes, I love the action, give me a great fight scene, I want to see people soaring through the air, I love an origin story and someone discovering that and learning how to harness their powers. And to be able to see a superhero that doesn't know that they're a superhero and also doesn't know what to do with that superhero power, and then getting to go, oh, wow, we get to go on this journey with you. That is exciting. So I'm looking forward to actually going on the journey and seeing how someone who went from idolizing Captain Marvel. Thank you. Idolizing Captain Marvel to then realizing her own Marvel powers. That is just going to be such an exciting ride, and I'm ready for the rest of the season.
So stinking cute. Look at her. Oh, she must be protected at all costs.
Chris, what did you think of the episode?
I loved everything about this. And everyone here knows that I'm an old ass lady. I go to bed at 9:30 at night. So I set an alarm so I can take a little nappy nap and then watch these shows. And I'm usually miserable. I'm so angry about it. I had so much fun, and I wanted to rewatch this the minute it ended. I watched Obi-Wan in the morning. I was like, this is the show I want to keep watching. It is so great. The editing, the way it is shot, the stylistic choices they make for text messages. It is beautiful. It is so, so fun. The characters are wonderful. Amon is incredible. She is so, so wonderful. Seraphin nailed the casting from start to finish here. Every person in the show is lovely. And like you guys were saying too, you connect to this on a very real level as yourself. For me, the parents are swapped, right? I had a goofy mom who went with me to Comic-Con, which was great. Like when I was like, that's Stan Lee, she was like, hey, Stan! I was like, Mom! But then I got to go talk to him because my mom is a loud Bostonian. And I was like, yes. I had to beg my parents to let me go see Weezer the first time with my friends. It was the first concert I got to see by myself. Wow. And you would think I was asking them if I could go do buckets of cocaine, right? Because I had, very, very uptight Northeastern Catholic parents. And so all the idea of why are you going to a party on a school night? You're only 16, it all makes sense to me. And you can relate to that on such a cellular level, no matter how you were brought up.
I trust you. I just don't trust other people.
That is something...
That's a total parent
my
thing
dad
to say.
still says that to me. Like,
Tom says that to me every day.
Tom, reverse it, Tom. But I love too that the writer, the person who wrote in here too, said they weren't so sure if this was comic book accurate. Like Aaron was saying, there's glorious Easter eggs every which way, things that are taken directly from the pages, right?
Right.
Down to people's costuming, down to certain stuffed animals and things. It's really, really great. But the changes they make are so intriguing that even if you are familiar with this, like I really want to sit down and talk to Anne about it. The changes they're making to her origin are fascinating, and I can't wait to see what the other episodes bring.
But for those of you who don't know, my wife, Anne, she was the first person I ever knew who read Ms. Marvel. She loves this comic, right? And so she was not going to stay up with me to watch it that late at night. She's got a real job, right? But this morning, she had a break as I'm getting ready to leave early this morning. So she's like, I'm going to watch Ms. Marvel right now. And I was a little bit late coming into the office today because I just sat there watching Ms. Marvel.
Aww.
for like 10 or 15 minutes. I just watched her watching Miss Marvel, and the whole time, I gotta go home later today and ask her, what did you think about it overall? Because I don't know anybody who knows Ms. Marvel as well as my wife does, but I gotta go home and ask her, because the whole time she was watching, she was just like, she was soaking it in. So guys, listen, everything will hit everybody in a different way. All I can say is, for me, who was expecting good things from Ms. Marvel, to me, it's the first great thing Marvel has put on Disney Plus since WandaVision. I don't think they put anything great on Disney Plus since WandaVision. Now they have. I love this show. Questions for you guys. Actually, you know what? Ray, you saw it, which I'm so shocked you were awake to watch it. But what did you think of Ms. Marvel?
Man, I was up till 3 trying to watch these 2 episodes. So
What, Obi-Wan and this?
You know what I appreciate about it is like I was telling the chat, the introduction to this culture, even if it's exaggerated, it's just like, seeing that part, other people's thing, whatever you call it. I appreciate that, but I also appreciate the interactions within the family.
Yeah, I
it
love
felt
that
like
part.
they were actually a family, and that's something that sometimes doesn't work. Like immediately from the beginning, the way she interacted with the mom, the dad, even the brother, it was like there was especially with her brother and her.
Yeah.
They give you one way and then they give you another way. It's like the way real brother and sisters work out in real life. That part I appreciate. I say the visuals were great. It's just I don't know if the novelty is gonna stick for me. Like after an episode or 2, she's great. The girl is perfect, but I just don't know if it's the type of thing that's going to stick with me after a few episodes.
Right.
It might
And we'll
get
find
old to
out.
me.
I
But
would
yeah,
love
we'll
to
find out.
see. I would love to see the YouTube show that she has. The character has.
Oh, I'm sure they'll put it on Disney Plus.
I would love to see that as like a separate. You know how sometimes like a couple years ago there was like The Office, and then some of those periphery characters had their own like little webisode series. I would love to see an add-on of that character's YouTube show as a totally separate thing.
I would watch it.
I would.
All right, guys, question is for you. Did you guys have a chance to watch Ms. Marvel? If so, what did you think? I'm sure it hit us all in different ways, but I freaking loved it. Whatever you guys thought, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 4. Chris, what is our 4th main topic today?
This one comes from Darren C. Hey, John, so Obi-Wan now only has 2 episodes left, and I gotta say that they're probably gonna have to be really incredible for me to end up liking the show overall. I liked the first episode, didn't like the second, liked the third, and I'm sad to say I didn't like the 4th. I know stormtroopers are supposed to have bad aim, but come on.
Woo!
So much of this episode stretches the limits of believability to the point that I just checked out. And 39 minutes? It's actually 36, friends. Really? In a 6-episode season? What did you think of it? And can episodes 5 and 6 turn things around?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Darren. And look, going into Obi-Wan, I went in with a lot of enthusiasm because, it's Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Deborah Chow, who did such a terrific job with her episodes on Mandalorian, was coming to do it. I loved the first episode of Obi-Wan. Absolutely loved. Like they just captured and nailed everything that show should be. On the second episode,
Yeah.
I thought the third was a little bit of a return to form. I will say this, in as much as the Book of Boba Fett had a couple of really weak episodes, I thought last night's episode of Obi-Wan was the single weakest episode of Disney Plus television, period. It's the worst episode of anything Star Wars related they've put out. It's the worst episode of anything Marvel related they've put out. It's the worst episode of anything High School Musical, the show they've put out.
Dare you speak of Olivia Rodrigo like that?
That
It just got chill. I actually just got goosebumps. That just like sent a shiver up my spine.
that episode was terrible. And you know me, even in the things I don't like, I like say, okay, so like, I hate the prequels, right? But I'll start off let's talk about how great the pod race scene is. Let's talk about how great that Obi-Wan Qui-Gon Darth Maul fight is. Let's talk about how great the sound design is, and how great Yoda is. Like, I like to fixate and find the things that I really like, even about something that I don't like, right? If I don't like a movie, I like to try to find the things in the movie that I hate, the elements that I liked about it. I am so hard-pressed to find anything redeemable about that episode of Obi-Wan last night. And I'm sure it's going to be a fun Obi-Wan after show that me and Robert Meyer Burnett do a little bit later today at 4 p.m. Make sure you come back and join us for that. But like everything from, I'm going to give a couple of minor details that will give you no idea of plot, just in case you haven't seen the episode yet. But like, there's literally a scene where Obi-Wan is in a enclosed hallway with stormtroopers and battle droids shooting at him from both sides. And he's in the middle, facing one way, blocking some shots, while all the guys behind him in a narrow fucking hallway are shooting at him. He's not even facing them to try to block them. And all the shots are just missing him. They're just missing him. Meanwhile, they're in the Inquisitorius, this sci-fi impenetrable fortress that they call it the Fortress Inquisitorius. That's a Roman sounding name there.
It sounds so Seussian to me.
It does, yes. The Fortress Inquisitorius. I will not like green eggs and ham.
Yeah.
Inquisitorius I am. And oh no, a window got cracked, leading one of the Inquisitors to go, they nearly destroyed the entire base. If a window getting cracked nearly destroys your entire base, you might want to hire a new engineering firm. I'm just throwing that out there. As much I have loved, one of the things I've consistently loved about this show is the girl who plays little Leia. Love her. I can eat her up. But the interactions between her and Reva were painful to watch. And I don't mean in a good dramatic narrative kind of, no, it was painful to watch. Things that were happening, it's like, really? Like, no air support around this base? Like, at all? Really? All I can say is this. The worst thing a parent could say to their child is very disappointed. I am so disappointed in you, Obi-Wan. I am so disappointed. I thought this show started with great promise, and I completely agree with the person writing in. Listen, all is not lost on this show. There are 2 episodes left. If they can knock episodes 5 and 6 out of the park, then at the end of the day, I'll go, I liked Obi-Wan. I mean, we're past the point of no return of me loving this show, but if they can crush episode 5 and 6, and I mean crush it, then this can still be a show that I, at the end of the day, will go, oh yeah, I like that show overall. But that is in a very precarious scenario right now because, again, I don't want to overuse hyperbole here, but I mean quite literally, I thought that episode was the absolute weakest thing Disney Plus has ever put to air. And the fact that it was like a 30-something minute episode, you know what, this is just proved again. This Obi-Wan show never should have been a series. At most, it should have been a hour and 45-minute movie if you wanted to do it. And maybe you could have done something a little bit better with it. But again, hopefully next week, we're going to be talking about how much I love episode 5. But I am very disappointed in episode 4. Anyway, Chris, you set your alarm.
I did.
Woke up after your little nappy nap and watched Obi-Wan. What did you think?
And then I was mad as hell, right? Because usually that's what a parent says to you, right? I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. I'm both. I am both so fiercely because I love Ewan McGregor. I love Obi-Wan. We have his lightsaber in our house. This is our guy. Logan has all the action figures for this, right? This is his Hot Toys. This was such a bummer because Boba Fett, there were a lot of episodes where I was bored. This is one where I was annoyed. And I was just disappointed because we have so many great actors. We have so much great stuff that could be happening. And it's just not being executed well. I think my biggest issue with this show, honestly, is the lack of consistency. Because there'll be an episode that I absolutely adore. And then there's an episode where I go, well, that was a waste of my time. I could have been sleeping. And then there's stuff like this where I'm supposed to have emotional payoffs in this episode, too. There's supposed to be something that makes me tug at my heartstrings because a group has changed forever now, right? I had no emotional connection to any of that. I thought so much of this was just so bad. And the whole destroying the base thing with a leak. Like, who built that base? My apartment complex contractor?
Oh, no.
Is that what happened?
Same guy that built the Death Star, I guess.
Apparently. We like to put little self-destruct buttons in our fortresses. It keeps it spicy. Like,
Spice.
this is just really dumb and disappointing.
And was I the only one that and please correct me if I'm wrong and tell me if I am the only one who's thinking this. When I watch like Mandalorian and even Book of Boba Fett, like the ships, whether they're in space or in the atmosphere, it all looked Star Wars quality. The visual effects in this show are laughably bad, especially whenever there's like a ship coming and landing. It looked like a 2002 video game cutscene.
Well, they don't care about canon, but they do want to make it look like the prequels. So
the prequels look better.
that's fair.
The prequels look better. Anyway, Aaron, you had a chance to watch this episode of Obi-Wan. What did you think? And did Tom watch this one yet? Or was he up yet?
It was 6:45 in the morning. No, he was building firewood next to me. That's a sawing logs reference. He snores. Just kidding, babe. You don't. Yeah, I too was greatly disappointed in this, but at the same time, not overly surprised. I feel like the show, the premiere, I was really excited about. I loved it. Kind of took a little snooze in the second episode. I was like, okay, no, I'm up. Okay, I'm in it. And then the third episode, unfortunately, I watched it around the same time that I watched the premiere with the first whole chunk of Stranger Things. And then I kind of went, oh, right. It's hard to appreciate craft American singles when you've just eaten a beautiful, Munster or a Gouda or some other kind of beautiful cheese. And this was just a stinky cheese to me, especially after watching Miss Marvel. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that I want to like it so badly. And Ewan McGregor's performance is so beautiful. And I'm trying to find the name of the actress who plays the
From Game of Thrones?
From Game of Thrones. She's so good. Every time she came back on screen, I was like, there you are. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because even though this is such a talented cast, because I've seen other work that they've done, you're right. The scene between little Leia and Reva was so hard to watch. And as one of my acting teachers used to say, you could drive a truck through those pauses. Keep it up. Come on. Pick up the pace. What are we doing? Say your line. What are you waiting for? And if you're going to not say the line because you're using it for a dramatic pause, create a dramatic pause. Do
You
something
better
with
earn
your
it.
eyebrows. Do a lip quiver. Do something. But don't just sit there and stare at each other, which is what I felt like they were doing. And I'm like, come on, Deborah Chow. You're better than this. What was going on when you guys were shooting those scenes? Because they were so boring. And a lot of this, the hard thing also was keeping a straight face, because the whole time that I was watching this episode, I kept thinking about the SNL sketch that Seth Meyers and Amy Poehler used to do, really with Seth and Amy. So I'm like, really? You were right there. You were that close that you could have heard everything going on. You were right there and you never decided to come in the room before now. Really? And like, really, the engineering situation here, that is just so, and really, that's how easy that was solved. I don't believe, and yeah, I'm not a CGI whiz. I am that person where John had to pretty much like shake me and slap me a few times to go. I mean, he had to Ezra Miller me. Sorry,
Metaphorically.
Sorry. Bad joke.
Please, metaphorically.
Literally, yes, very metaphorically. He was like, Aaron, Lion King is not real. They did not get those animals to do that. And I go, yes, they did. Siegfried and Roy were in there. They made that happen.
Peanut butter on the mouth.
Exactly. I 100% believe that Lion King was actual animals. I am not the person to guess the CGI. But oh, Lordy, sweet baby Jesus, whenever one of those flying anything came in, I was like, that is not real. And then just things happen and you go, well, obviously that happened to you. Why are you trying to be a hero? Like, just too many things that I just kind of went, ugh, I can't watch this. So yeah, it didn't make me bored. It just made me annoyed and just disappointed. And I don't know how this is going to redeem itself in the next 2 episodes. I just don't know.
That actress, by the way, is Indira Varma.
Oh, she's
so
wonderful.
good.
She's so
Give
good.
her a
So good.
series.
Yeah.
Give her her own series. She has earned it because she is absolutely the breath of fresh air. Every time she and Ewan McGregor came on screen, I was like, Oh, we're back.
Their
Thank you.
dynamic is very compelling.
Yeah.
I will give the show that.
I would
Yeah.
not mind if they made out. I know it probably isn't canon, but I just
wouldn't mind
I mean,
it.
at this point, the only thing that will save the show is for the two of them to just start making out for no reason. I don't even care if it tracks. Just have them kiss, please.
I really want that to be like your note in writers' rooms. You know what? I wouldn't mind if they gave each other a little smoochie.
Yeah. This doesn't work for me, but I bet if they made out, it would.
Yeah.
All right, guys, question is for you. I mean, here's the beautiful thing about on-screen storytelling. It hits us all in different ways, and maybe you're somebody that you watched it and you actually had a really good time. I hope that you did. If so, let us know. And let us know what it was that worked for you. Maybe you're feeling like us and it really didn't work for you. I was just personally like really disappointed in the episode. Anyway, guys, how did you guys feel it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move on to our fifth main topic today. Chris, what is our fifth main topic today?
This one comes from Matthew Kircher. Todd Phillips took to social media today and posted a picture of the script and working title Joker Folie Deux and showed a picture of Joaquin Phoenix reading the script. I guess the rumors were true that a sequel is happening? What are your thoughts, and do you think a sequel is truly necessary for this film after the ending of the first movie?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And now look, the Joker 2 situation is one that's been really interesting because the Joker was never created to be a franchise. That first movie was not created to be a franchise. It was specifically meant to be a one-shot story. Do it, be done, and they were insistent on that. This is a one-shot. It's not going to be a sequel. This isn't going to be a franchise. But they're all insistent on it. However, when your movie makes $1 billion and when your movie becomes one of the first, I think it was the second in total, a comic book connected film to be nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards, when your lead actor wins the Academy Award for Best Actor, first comic book lead in history to win Best Lead Actor at the Academy Awards, when all those things happen, you rethink your position. Is this a sequel that needs to be done? Absolutely not. And quite frankly, I would prefer them not to do it. That movie was so great as it was, single shot, Elseworld kind of movie, done. But if I'm an executive at Warner Brothers, of course I would have to say, yep, business is business. You make another one of these. And apparently, the director and Joaquin himself thought, guess we should, because you're right. They put out some images. I don't know if we've got these images here, but they put out some images of them, number one, with the script, and then number two, with Joaquin sitting there actually reading the script. All right, this comes to us from the folks over at Screen Rant who write the following. The reveal of the Joker 2 script comes with a number of exciting developments on the sequel, including a return of Joaquin Phoenix
Oh, God,
as a
that'd be
titular
wild.
character and co-writer Scott Silver. Additionally, the script seemingly offers a hint at what's to come from the new film with its subtitle reading Folie à Deux, which roughly translates Madness of Two or Madness for Two, and is a mental disorder affecting two or more individuals, seemingly hinting at the possibility of multiple Jokers being seen in the film. This concept was recently proposed by Willem Dafoe, who suggested the story see a copycat Joker face off against Phoenix's. And that again comes to us from Screenlight. Now, Folie à Deux, the Madness for Two, my first thought doesn't go to two Jokers. My first thought goes to, they're going to bring in a Harley Quinn when they say Madness for Two. I wonder if they're going to look at bringing in their own Harley Quinn, not the Margot Robbie one, but rather another Harley Quinn, and that's the Madness for Two, or maybe there's going to be a copycat Joker or whatever. Okay, so look, bottom line. As just a movie fan, do I think they should do another Joker? Absolutely not. They absolutely shouldn't. If you're a Warner Brothers executive, again, I have to concede that of course you make another one. The fans want it. The success of the first one is undisputable. And if you can get Joaquin Phoenix to agree to come back to do a sequel, I mean, that's huge. And obviously there's a picture of Joaquin with the script reading it. So obviously, if this story idea they must have cracked, must absolutely be kill her. Absolutely kill her. If he said, yeah, I'll do it. It's got to be great. That's the only thing I can think of. Now, you can say that about a lot of actors, but with Joaquin Phoenix, it's really true. You got to absolutely get him on board to do this because he did not have a contract to do a second film. So it's not like he was obligated to do this. So I think this is, again, do they need to make this movie? Absolutely not. But if he's on board, and I love the first one so much, well, I'll be there opening night. So, and that's my thought on it. Anyway, Chris, you're seeing this and hearing this. What's your first reaction to it?
Ugh, I don't want it. You know how I feel about the first Joker too. If this is a great film that I never need to see again because I've interacted with individuals like this, and I saw it once, and this is not a movie I'm going to revisit. But bully to you all who love it, and good job on making this film, Mr. Phillips. It's wonderful. It's a wonderfully made film, and Joaquin is incredible in it. I absolutely don't understand how there's a sequel to this. But they found a way.
They found a way.
And the idea of this particular mental disorder concept, this folie à deux thing, it's tumor people in a family a lot of times, right? It's a real illness. And one of the things that I do think is an issue with these Joker films is it's these blanket statements a lot of times of, well, he's psychotic. And I think it'd be much more compelling if there was an actual deep dive of the psychology of this character in here that isn't just, well, he's just a little crazy and makes women mad. That seems very, very redundant. And that's how I felt about the film personally, too, was it just felt like a very kind of low-hanging fruit look at mental illness a lot of times. Not always, but a lot of times in the film. So I hope that this, because it is an actual concept, gets looked into in a way and dealt with in a way. You know, Moon Knight maybe didn't stick the landing, but I feel like that was something where we handled dissociative disorder in a very, very well done, well researched manner. So I hope a little bit of that comes here. This isn't something I'm particularly excited about, but I know I'll watch it for this show and this job.
Aaron, what do you think about this? What stands out to you here?
Well, I will be the lone wolf who says, I can't wait. I am so excited. And here is why. As you said, John, Joaquin Phoenix has no contractual obligation to do this film. And Joaquin Phoenix has never, ever in his entire incredible, illustrious career been a performer who has chosen the mighty dollar over the mighty story. He has always been about story and character. And if it's not something that he is incredibly passionate about and feels like he can bring his all to, and that will
remember he turned down Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Exactly. If he does not feel like he can meet the story or that the story can meet him, he's just not going to do it. And you know what? He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to for an Academy Award because he already has one of those. He doesn't have to for the street cred within the industry because he already has that. And he doesn't have to for the money because his back end points on the original Joker have him buying whatever the hell he wants. So I feel I am excited about this possibility because I love the fact that the image that we saw is not Joaquin Phoenix, trying on a new costume or cheer. It's him. Look at that. It's Joaquin Phoenix in black and white, of course.
In some office in Beverly Hills.
It's like so, but it's him reading the script going, no, this is what I'm about. I'm reading the script and it's all about the story. I am very excited to find out who this second person is because it is only going to be two. So reading about this, for those of you, because I had to look this up, folie à deux, also known as shared psychosis or shared delusional disorder, is a psychiatric syndrome in which symptoms of a delusional belief, which this character had, and sometimes hallucinations, which he also had, are transmitted from one individual to another. The same syndrome shared by more than two people may be called a folie à trois or quatre, or further folie en famille, which is family madness, or even folie à plusieurs, madness of several. So I feel like this is going to be just two people. I'm fascinated by who that second person is. And I would love for it to be his real life lady love, Farmiga.
Vera Farmiga?
Is it Vera
I thought he was
Farmiga?
with Mara Rooney.
Mara Rooney. I know that there's Farmigas and then there's Rooneys and they're all doing weird
is
characters.
Joaquin Phoenix with Mara Rooney?
Yeah.
They
Oh,
got
I
a
didn't
baby.
know that.
Yeah. They're very private about their thing, so I seriously doubt that they would do a movie together. But she is just the wackadoodle character, interesting type of actress that immerses herself into characters that would be brilliant opposite his Joker. No, the Margot Robbie version would not work as brilliant as her Harley Quinn is. And maybe it won't be Harley at all. But I do see how, given where we left off from the first Joker, this could be a continuation. And I also feel like Breckin Meyer, who starred in Road Trip, directed by Todd Phillips, really needs to embrace his dark side and come back and do a villain role in this. So Todd Phillips, if you're watching, call Breckin. I'm a big fan of his. I think you are too, and I think he'd be great in this.
What about this? What if the second of the Psychosis of Two is this universe's version of Batman? Now, I personally don't think they should go have a Batman in this universe. I really don't. Especially since the Bruce Wayne we saw is like 3.
Yeah, baby.
Just a baby. And, you say 10 years past. Okay, well, now he's 13. But, I mean, maybe it's not a Bruce Wayne Batman. Maybe it's again, this is a whole new world. They're opening a lot of things. I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think the most likely scenarios here are what other people are suggesting, which is a copycat Joker, or this universe's version of a Harley Quinn, or something like that. But it is definitely interesting. But
it's it's Rooney Mara.
Rooney Mara. What did we say?
Mara Rooney. I got dyslexic.
Yes, and apparently,
Yes.
and thank you, chat. They've apparently already done 2 movies together. So, hey, it's possible. I think Rooney Mara or Mara Rooney, whatever she wants to be called, that's my vote for Harley Quinn.
I think her and her sister, I've been saying for a year, I think her and her sister, Kate, need to do a movie together. I like both of them. I think they're both really great. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? They are apparently going to be doing a sequel to the Best Picture nominated film Joker with Joaquin Phoenix coming back. This isn't some rumor going around. This is the director and the star of the film. They're holding up the script. Here we go. What do you think about this? Do you think this is something they should do? Do you think from a creative point of view, it's something they should have left alone? But hey, man, from a business point of view, obviously you got to make another one of these things. How are you feeling about it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, we're now going to open up the super chat so you guys can start filing in your comments, questions, thoughts, opinions, theories, whatever you guys want to do. Do it relatively quickly, though, because we only leave them open for a couple of minutes. So see if you can get those in there now. But before we get to those live questions, we want to take another second to thank one of the sponsors of today's episode, a sponsor that I have used for years in my editorial videos, in my own documentary. I love these guys, the good folks over at Storyblocks. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Storyblocks. Guys, I have been an enthusiastic fan and user of Storyblocks for years. I go to them whenever I'm in need of content creation assets like royalty-free music, video clips, or templates for my creative projects, ranging anywhere from little editorial videos to my very own full-feature documentary. Storyblocks helps you bring your stories, videos, and projects to life without sacrifices due to time, budget, or access to resources. They have over 1 million different story assets ranging from stock videos, audio and music, an in-browser video editor, and they feature pre-designed templates, animations, and outros. Storyblocks uses an affordable subscription model, and their unlimited access plans offers, unlimited video and audio downloads rather than a costly pay-per-clip model. With Storyblocks, you'll be able to create more content and, more importantly, better content, all while using a subscription plan that fits your budget, utilizing unlimited downloads of demand-driven and diverse content. So if you're interested in upping your content creation game, head over to www.storyblocks.com/Campea and get started today. That's www.storyblocks.com/Campea. And a big thank you to the folks at Storyblocks for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Don't forget, guys, down at the top of the description of this video is links with the promo codes to all the sponsors of today's show. When you support our sponsors, you're actually supporting the show as well. All right, guys. With that down, yeah, Ray.
I just want to take a quick moment to mention 2 members, Rosie 1993 and K Major, for gifting 5 memberships to the chat.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Memberships to the chat. And also, what's up, Cincinnati 5-star? I got my jersey yesterday, so thank you for that.
Thank you. That is seriously one of the most awesome things when people like gift memberships to other viewers of the show. Thank you so much for doing that, guys. That's really awesome of you. All right, now with that down, let's get over to those live comments and questions and everything. What is the chat having to say here, Chris?
We are starting with some support. We've got Suthius. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Suthius.
Ryder, Saving Princess Leia, now airing on Disney+.
Yeah, that's kind of the show. Again, we don't want to go into details about this episode, but yeah. All right, what's next?
From Andy, 1 of 3, my feelings about Black Adam are like Chris's feelings about Morbius before seeing it. I'm not excited. I'm supposed to believe that this character is a 5,000-year-old slave that came from ancient Egyptian-like culture, and all I get so far from the trailer is The Rock only brooding. Also, judging...
Andy,
Oh, there you
you
go. By their past work, the director is mediocre and one of the writers is outright pathetic. If this is bad, then I hope I at least get Morb-like memes.
Yeah, look, there are, we've talked about this before. There are several strikes against this movie. There are. But again, that doesn't mean it's not going to turn out to be great. It doesn't mean it will turn out to be great either. So I am choosing to go into this movie optimistically, because we've been waiting for this Black Adam movie. They've been working on this. Well, Dwayne Johnson's been working on it for like 15 years, trying to get this thing done, literally. And so I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. But yes, I am also completely aware and cognizant of the fact that there are several strikes against this movie. There are reasons to be a little bit apprehensive. I know that. I'm keeping that filed away, but I am choosing to be optimistic until I see the damn film. All right. Thanks for writing that in, man. I understand where you're coming from. All right. What's next?
From Amin, I'd love to hear your thoughts on why do you think Disney has been so adamant about having only 6-episode shows and averaging like 35 minutes per episode?
They're cheap. No, I'm honestly, they want to keep the expenses down. They want to do it as inexpensively as possible. They also want to keep their talent tied up as shortly as possible. It's just, it's funny when, and some of the results have been great. Obviously, Mandalorian season 1, which was more than 6 episodes, obviously. But I mean, it's really something too when we're seeing this, contrasting and comparing it to another show that's airing right now in Stranger Things, which is just being done on a philosophical level so much better than Disney Plus is doing their stuff right now. And I say this as a big Disney fan. You guys know I'm a big Disney fan, right? I'm a huge Star Wars fan, huge MCU fan, all that kind of stuff. But the reality is, it kind of sucks when I watch a fantastically plotted out, planned out, and executed hour and 10-minute episode of Stranger Things. And then I come over and watch a kind of slapped together 32-minute something of something that's only going to have 6 episodes to start with. I mean, so the only thing I'm left with is they are doing a couple things. One, crank out as much content as possible, as quickly as possible, as inexpensively as possible. And that seems to be the philosophy right now. And sometimes they're having decent results. Sometimes not so decent. Ms. Marvel, absolutely amazing. Obi-Wan episode 4. So we'll see how it goes. All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher, 1 of 2. Obi-Wan theory. When I'm zoned out, I often hear the person speaking say what I'm thinking. So what if that's what happened with Obi-Wan? He was thinking Anakin's alive, but heard Reva say it because we never see her say it. The whole time the camera is zooming in on Ewan McGregor. No, because then it turns to her and she says, "Oh, you didn't know?" Yep,
exactly. That's exactly what I was going to point out. Yeah, so that theory goes out the window. So yes, she did actually say it. That would have been an interesting plot curve.
Yeah.
If later we found out she never did say that, it was all just in his head, like his own conscience told him. But as Chris just pointed out, it did go back to her and we did see her say that. So,
and also that's like way too meta, I think, for where this show is. I think this show is really just kind of, I don't really see a lot of subtext happening here. This is sort of just hitting you on the head with whatever it is.
Yeah, I agree, unfortunately. All right, what's next?
From South Texas Shark. Like the dad, I also argue with my Google Assistant.
Listen, that scene was so great because I got my family one of those Amazon Echo screen things with a camera on it so we could video chat with them. And oh my God, sometimes trying to get that thing going.
There is an amazing sketch. I think it's SNL Old People Alexa.
Yeah.
It is brilliant. It is so funny. Go after this show, of course, go and just look on YouTube, SNL Old People Alexa. You will thank me later.
I haven't seen it. I'm going to check it out.
It's so funny.
All right, what's next?
From Suthius, Disney Plus, but you slick, y'all. First episode of a show, 50 plus minutes. Yes. Next episode, 40 plus minutes. Okay, still good. Next episode, 30 plus minutes. Oh, for why?
Yeah, I'm look, as enthusiastic and as in love that I am with Ms. Marvel episode 1. I am dreading then loading up episode 2 and seeing 28 minutes or what. You know what? Winning cures everything. Even if it was load up episode 2 and it's 35 minutes, if it's great 35 minutes, I will, like Judge Judy, go, I'll allow it. You know, I'll let that slip. Winning cures everything. The problem is when it just becomes another thing to hate when you don't like the episode in general. And you're like, so why is this a series? It's only 6 episodes and you're roughly taking away recaps, opening credits, and closing credits. These episodes are really only like 30 minutes to start with. So really, it's only going to be about 3 hours. And about a full hour and 10, 15 minutes of this is just wasted.
Yep.
Why is this a series again? Anyway, I don't want to get too negative, but that's kind of where my thoughts are right now. All right, what's next?
Apologies to Chef Rigo. We set off his Alexa. Sorry, bud. From Al Renshaw. Over under 30%, The Rock says, it doesn't matter what you think to Dr. Fate or another member of the JSA team.
I honestly 100% believe that The Rock will not have that in there. I don't think The Rock wants his wrestling persona in there. That's one of the reasons why I don't really believe that. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Yeah.
I don't believe that's going to be in there at all because I think he's going to try to keep his wrestling out of it.
Also, it's called a pizza stone. Grow up.
All right, what's
Goodness.
next?
From Casey Mack. Apple has got my attention once the show is called Blackbird and it stars Taron Egerton, Ray Liotta, and Paul Walter Hausen. Saw the trailer and it has me intrigued.
By the way, how much has Paul Walter Hausen kind of taken over the world? Like this actor who does not have at all the traditional Hollywood, whatever, he's just quietly come along and started this and started that and started his role in I, Tonya, like kills me. And he's great. I loved him in Cruella. I loved him. He was also in this show called Kingdom, this MMA show called Kingdom. He's great. I really like it, and I am looking forward to that show a lot. What are you?
Well, we're both giggling over here because as soon as you said, wow, Paul Walter Hausen has just taken over Hollywood, immediately Chris
both
and I
like,
were like, Google Paul Walter Hausen. And then at the same time, we both went, oh, yeah,
that guy.
yeah,
Okay.
he's good. Yeah, we like him.
We know
By
him.
the way, he also popped up in like Cobra Kai. A Cobra Kai, a show I don't watch, but I
Who
thought
is his agent? And can I sign with them, please?
But
No offense to my
he
agent.
just kills it. He kills it. All right, what's next?
From Josh Becker. What are these episode lengths? 30 minutes?
Yeah, it's as cheap as you can, as quick as you can. And that seems to be the philosophy here. And listen, just as a viewer, and I don't want to be one of those people that bitches and whines and cries all the time, although I do a lot of that.
Show you can cry if you want to.
I'll cry if I want to.
a show.
This 30-minute thing, it's like, what are you doing?
I don't get it.
Well, also, if you're going to do 30 minutes, like somebody in the chat said, hey, Barry's 35 minutes and it slays. Yes.
But yes.
But that's the
But
thing.
it slays.
If you're going to do a shorter episode, I don't mind a shorter episode. Just make sure that it's solid. Don't drive a truck through the pauses between someone's lines. Just give me like a really tight, strong 30 to 35 minutes of quality programming, of really strong writing, of windows that don't crack just because, a stormtrooper can't aim. Give me actual good quality material. And I don't care if it's only 35 minutes.
You know what else Barry isn't? 6 episodes.
There you go.
So there's that too. All right, what's next?
From Murray, I was really let down by episode 4 of Obi-Wan. To have a 6-episode series and each average 40 minutes long is laughable. Should have made it into a movie. Reva isn't intimidating. Can we get instead an Obi-Anakin flashback?
I still believe there's going to be an Obi-Anakin flashback. And by the way, it doesn't matter if they do an Obi... Listen to me here. Who cares if they do an Obi-Wan Anakin flashback if they're not going to do it well? Like that scene... There's like I said, we're not going to give any content points away, but there's a scene where little Leia and Reva are having this extended scene in conversation. That scene could have been awesome. Mm-hmm. It could have been awesome. It's like what I always say when somebody says, what villain do you want to see in the next comic book movie? It doesn't matter what villain they put into it. All that matters is, do you write it well? That's it. Doctor Doom is one of the top 3 greatest comic book villains of all time. They've had him in 4 movies, and in all of them it sucked. because it doesn't help that the character is there if you're not going to write it well. They could have made all these episodes one big flashback of Obi-Wan and Anakin during the Clone Wars, running around and having fun. It wouldn't matter if they're going to write it this crappy. If they're going to do it this shitty, it doesn't matter if they had those scenes. It wouldn't have made the show any better. And that's the part that's frustrating me, especially with the amount of potential going in there. So I don't know. I don't want to get too worked up.
Oh,
so
man.
I'll
You
see
were
that.
so in it that you did not notice me full on squeeze my coffee cup into my eyeball. Like, you were so keyed in as I was like, "Ah."
Eye violence. You seeing here.
Oh, well.
Thoughts and
Okay.
prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
What's next?
Thank you. Oh my gosh, that'll help so much. David Deere just wanted to say, I love you guys. Keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you so much, David. Appreciate that, man. That's very kind of you. All right, what's next?
From Movie Talk, sending in a $20 super
Aw,
chat.
thank you, dude.
Is it safe to say that stormtroopers should be blind in Star Wars canon after seeing what Obi-Wan got away with in this episode?
There are literally a group of enemies in front and behind Obi-Wan in a narrow hallway, and Obi-Wan's only facing one way, and all the guys behind him, no more than 30 feet away, pew pew, missing. Missing.
I haven't seen shooting that bad since I had too many cocktails at Disneyland and tried to do the Starfleet ride. Like,
I thought you were going to make some kind of reference to you squirting yourself in the eye. But either way.
Also, my favorite thing, this is not a spoiler, but there is a really wonderful moment where a stormtrooper actually falls on the ground from being slapped in the face. That was the moment that I was like, I'm done. I am done. Okay, I have put aside my disinterest in sand, and I am in it to win it. I am watching every episode at 6:00 in the morning on Wednesdays. But when you slap someone wearing a helmet and they fall to the ground, and you're not The Rock staying on track here. No, that moment I just went, really? What
By the way, I'm not going to say what it is, but for those of you who are interested, so one of our viewers, Dion, wrote into the live chat and said, John, Reva wanted to X. No, she didn't. No. That was just a backup. Hey, okay, this happened, but at least I did this. Because if you remember what the primary goal of Vader and Reva are, it ain't going to include a plan to let what happened happen. So I just want to put that out there. Anyway, okay, what's next?
from Stubble McShave, similar story in Obi-Wan Episode 4 and second act of A&H Done Bad.
A New Hope.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, there are definitely similarities. And that doesn't bother me at all. Similarities and themes and things like that in the Star Wars universe does not bother me at all. If you watch any crime drama TV series, every other week it's the same crime story. It's just executed in a different way, and you try to add new and original elements. That's why I say I love The Force Awakens. I love that movie. But John, there's so many similarities to the original Star Wars. Yeah, I know there are, but that didn't prevent it from being awesome. So I didn't mind the similarities as long as you do it well. All right, what's next?
From Chef Rigo.
Hey.
I think would rather go to sleep early now instead of staying up to watch Obi-Wan. And Aaron, I'm starting Stranger Things this weekend.
Yeah, listen, I finally finished the 7 episodes, and it's the best. I've never been a big fan of Stranger Things. I've always liked it. Never been a big fan. This is easily the best they've ever done in this show.
And speaking of the best, if you're looking for the best leftovers ever, go to Shogun.
Get Chef Rigo.
Get enough for one person, and then say, oh, I have to save half of this for my husband, and then tell your husband that he can't have your leftovers and eat it the next day, heat it up in the microwave. Oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah, it's so good. All right, what's next?
From CJ Rebirth, I still can't believe Joaquin was in Brother Bear. He was.
Oh, that's right. Here's the thing. If you actually go through Joaquin Phoenix's IMDb, you'll find a couple of things that you'll go, oh my God, I forgot that. All right, what's next?
From Raymond, The Boys Termite versus Ant-Man. Who would win and why?
Oh, obviously Ant-Man would win. But my God, it's going to still go down as one of the most mentally scarring scenes in television history with Termite.
I was going to
All
say,
right.
Termite.
You don't know what we're talking about, do you, Aaron?
I haven't been watching The Boys this season yet.
Well, I'm just going to watch, you know what, before you leave today, we're going to watch the first 5 minutes
Yep.
of episode 1 of this season.
Oh, yes, please.
Yes. The three of us
I
are
would
going to
really
sit
like
down
that.
and watch the first 5 minutes.
Okay.
They are 2 girls, 1 cup.
Oh, should we get a reaction video of this then?
Let's just say the situation comes to a head.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I'm so excited. I have no idea what we're talking about because Tom never got into The Boys. I said, hey, should we watch The Boys? And he's like, oh, I never got into it. And so I was like, okay, I'll watch it on my own. And I just have not had a chance to sit down and watch it yet. So I'm excited.
Yep. And you know what? We totally should put a camera on us as we're
Yes,
watching this. Yep. We're going to do
1000%.
that.
Great.
Okay. Let's keep going. What's next?
From Al Renshaw, we need a face-off remake of Jackman and Reynolds.
Oh, dude,
Versus
I've
Reynolds.
been saying that for years. Hollywood, you're welcome, but a face-off movie needs to be done with Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds. Got to happen. All right.
I
what's
don't
next?
understand. What is it about? Like, am I missing that? Did they do a buddy comedy that I missed?
Oh,
Or-
no. They have made the internet worth being on for the past 3 years. They have a fake beef on Twitter that's been running for years.
It's magical.
And it's one of the best things on the internet. It's absolutely one of the best things on the internet.
Sometimes Jake Gyllenhaal gets thrown in the mix around Christmas because they all have a sweater.
Yes,
that all
they did
share.
get Jake Gyllenhaal in a sec,
Yeah.
but yeah, they have
It's
a fake
great.
beef. And
like a
it's
Jimmy
great.
Kimmel and
Matt Damon kind of thing, only much better.
Yeah.
Oh.
Only better.
Yeah.
I clearly have a lot of things I need to start watching. Okay.
All right, what's next?
From Thanos, there's definitely CGI on The Rock. They removed some muscle to make it more believable that it's an actual person.
True. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me a lot of. Did you guys? I don't know if you guys knew this. I don't give scores to movie reviews anymore because
You don't do a top 10.
yes, because when you say a movie 7 out of 10, that means something different to everybody. So I just
Right.
stopped giving scores. But do you know I used to rate my movies instead of out of 5 stars, or instead of thumbs up, thumbs down. I used to have a rating system called No, Go, or Routh. That was the name of it. And for those of you who haven't heard, some of you know this story.
It's like Fuck, Marry, Kill, but
Something
for a
like
movie.
that. But here's what it was. There was a real story years ago when they were making Superman Returns with the actor Brandon Routh, where while watching some of the dailies, some of the WB executives asked the director to digitally reduce the size of the bulge in Brandon Routh's Superman red shorts.
Oh, I heard this.
And
Had a real
so,
trunk situation.
yes, a real junk pouch situation
Yeah.
going on. And so they digitally reduced a little bit about the bulge in there. And to which my co-host at the time, his name's Darren Conley, a buddy of mine, said, I guess you could say that Brandon Routh is the total package. To which we went, well, then there's our new movie rating system. No, don't go see it. Go see it. Or the movie's the total package, and we called it the Routh. So
oh, great. I
that
love
was
it.
our that was our rating system for about 2 or 3 years. That was our rating system. All right, what's next?
From Casey Mack, I really hope Black Adam does well just so we can get a Dr. Fate movie. I just find his character interesting.
Hey, listen, I don't need a Dr. Fate movie if they do Dr. Fate really well in these movies. Like if you do them well and do justice to them, I'm perfectly happy watching them there. I just can't wait to see Pierce Brosnan doing that. I think, I mean, look at the way they designed him too. I mean, the look is absolutely spot on. Doesn't mean the movie's going to be good, but hey, at least the look
Even
is
when
right.
you take off all the gold, it's still a cool costume.
yeah, it
Excuse
absolutely
me,
is.
uniform, whatever
Uniform.
it's called.
All right, what's next?
From Elizabeth Horado, did you see Malala praised Marvel for Ms. Marvel?
Oh.
That makes sense.
That's honestly, I mean, I feel like that is pretty impressive. She was, if you're not sure who we're talking about, Malala is the young girl who was shot in the face by the Taliban for advocating for the rights of girls to be educated. And she still is like on the Taliban's most wanted list. And I mean, she's written books and she's got just she's inspired movies. I mean, she's just an incredible human being. Her story is wonderful. If you are not, she had a documentary, I believe, I Am Malala or
Yeah.
Malala, I Am Malala.
Graduated from Oxford last year, too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just think it's really, I think it's really cool when someone who has done really awesome things in the world and doesn't really have to trouble themselves to watch like little geek TV shows goes, hey, no, I think that's cool too.
That's awesome. That's inspiring. All right, what's next?
From Q. Oh no, where's Rob? Hi, John and company. Recently discovered Mindhunters on Netflix.
Love it.
Over the weekend. So good. Such an incredible show. Really disappointed it's not getting a third season. Have you seen it? Thoughts?
Oh yeah, dude. We've spoken over the years about ever since it was airing. Mindhunters was a smart, intense.
Yeah.
I mean, just kind of dragged you along. Like you couldn't stop watching it. The various characters. I mean, the one guy who like the big inmate who like serial killer.
Oh,
that they always
yeah.
go to, like, I mean, it was just and
Every
again,
character, every supporting character
Yep.
was flawless. The casting for that, it was Bialy Thomas, I believe, was flawless. That might not have been, actually. Don't listen to that. And also what I loved was that every episode had that oh shit moment at the end of it. You know, like some episodes of shows wrap everything up in a nice, neat little, bow. But this show, I made the mistake. I was on location and I was in a hotel room and I was like, I'll just watch the first 30 minutes of one episode to help me fall
Yeah.
asleep.
Nope.
4 hours later. Because every episode has that oh shit moment that just drags you into the next episode,
yeah.
and it was also done by David Fincher,
Yep.
and his beautiful styling of panning shots and long extended shots versus the quick cuts. It's beautiful filmmaking.
Well,
Yeah, it's a
season
great
2
show.
definitely too has that every single episode with that buildup of BTK, which is why it's so messed up we don't have this next season. Because
Yeah.
you see slowly and slowly how that killer is going to come into fruition, and it's
Yep.
a good one.
all right, what's next?
From Blake62, after some reflection time on the Batman, I've settled to this opinion. It's as good as Dark Knight. It's not as rewatchable or entertaining as Dark Knight.
I
Okay.
I can see that. I mean, look, all I know is this. Wherever you rank the Dark Knight versus the Batman and all that kind of, that's fine. They're both great. I loved the Batman. I really did. It was a very distinct and unique movie from that first one. But yeah, there's a lot. I mean, obviously, the Dark Knight is still considered by many people to be the greatest comic book film of all time, and there's a reason for that. The very fact that we're even comparing the films says a lot about the Batman. All right, what's next?
From Alex Mata, I've actually read somewhere that Feige and the team behind Ms. Marvel want to do an actual Avengers Con. Yes, please.
I don't know that that's something Disney would ever let them do, especially considering like I don't think Disney will let them do anything that takes away from D23. But then again, at the same time, they do let Lucasfilm have Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
I
You
mean,
can make a lot of money.
I was going to say it's a way for Chapek to get people in the park if they do an Avengers Con day.
If they did it at
At Disneyland.
I mean,
kind
Oh
of
my
like
God.
Dapper Day. And then you'd still have to follow the rules of how you're allowed to cosplay as a character. Because Disney will kick you out, guys, if you
Yeah.
show up too much like the other people.
I got kicked out of Disneyland one time. I showed up to Disneyland in a tuxedo, a very nice tuxedo too, and they said no, I looked like a prince, and I had to leave.
Why were you
Wow.
wearing a tuxedo?
I was leaving a wedding that was nearby. In
really?
other words, we had season passes. We decided to go into the park, and they wouldn't let us.
Wow, you look
Because
too
you look
sharp.
too princely.
Too much like a prince.
too good,
I
man.
love that. No, too
wonderful.
many princesses are going to want to ooh and ah at you.
All right, we are running short on time here, so let's we'll try to pick up the pace. I'm sorry, I'm dragging this a little bit slow, but what's next?
From Stefan, so proud to be Belgian today. Adeline Ballad did an amazing job directing the first episode of Ms. Marvel. Does this make you more excited for Batgirl?
I mean, not really, because they're obviously going to take a very different approach. This approach with the visual stylings and the way, like, even there's a scene where she's riding her bike with her best friend down the street, and you see these almost like chalk graffiti images on the walls of the buildings behind them, kind of playing out what it is they're talking about on their bikes. Like, it's just so creative
so
and so
good.
if they can come up with another idea like that for Batgirl, then yeah.
Wait,
All right.
the directors of this are Belgian?
I never knew what their nationality was.
Because it kind of makes that like the she ran away with a Belgian from the comment with the two moms talking.
Or to Belgium. Didn't she go to Belgium? Like,
I don't know,
towards
but I
Europe?
thot that it was just funny that it was like
that might have been
a nice
connected.
little like
All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher, I'm sorry, but when I look at the Black Adam trailer, I don't see Black Adam. I just still see Dwayne Johnson.
But you can see, here's the thing, that's a you thing. Like that's, I mean, and that's because we can do that with any movie. Like, say, I'm sorry, when I see the Top Gun trailer, I don't see Pete Maverick Mitchell. I see Tom Cruise. I mean, that's fine, but it is a trailer. So that's it's not up to the trailer to kind of make you forget that. The movie is going to be a little bit different. And Dwayne Johnson is the biggest star in the world. So that's going to have a little something to do with that. The question will be, when we see the movie, what are you going to see?
You know, I don't nitpick about anything, right? But I kind of wish he kind of had the pointy ears, just to separate him from the humans, because Black Adam is
Did they
supposed to be
not give
some...
him? I honestly didn't notice. Did they
Yeah,
not give him
yeah.
a little
So
bit of
like,
pointy ears?
that's what I thought they would at least give him. I mean, I'm down with the Rock looks like Black Adam. I mean,
Yeah.
he is Black Adam. It's just the ear thing. I don't know why, and I get disgusted with myself for thinking, man, he should have the pointy ears just a little bit. You know, I don't know.
It's not, I mean, I personally think they should have given him the pointy ears. All right, what's next?
From Raymond, Disney, how about a Grogu and Leia holiday special?
How about we never do another holiday special again and never, ever bring it up? There's no such thing as the holiday special. All right, what's next?
From Rick Staines, John, the fact that you know the Digimon theme has made my day. And is Erin playing Silk for Spider-Man Universe? She has spider sense.
Well, I mean,
It's
listen,
true. I am. You heard it here first.
Now, really, I don't know why I knew the tune, but it was really Aaron who brought up the tune. I was like, and I recognized it, right? But she was the one who came
No,
up to us. So
I'm Aaron.
all credit goes to Chris Carr for that.
Yeah, that's Chris. I'm
Yeah.
Aaron.
Did I say Aaron?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't
Chris.
mind when we
We're
get confused.
interchangeable. You
I'm
know,
pointing this way.
those
They're both sitting
19th
there.
century French women of low moral standing.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
From Wayne Edwards, sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Wayne.
In the book How Star Wars Conquered the Universe, George Lucas asked Steven Spielberg and Ron Howard to direct Episode 1. Both declined. Can they take all or some of the blame for the prequels?
I mean, look, by the way, Steven Spielberg, uncredited, did direct parts of Revenge of the Sith. He actually came in and did a little bit. I mean, look, all I've ever wanted, and by the way, that is the best book ever written about Star Wars. It really is the best book ever written on that topic. My movie fan wet dream is for Steven Spielberg to direct a Star Wars film. That's the only thing I want in movie life is that. So damn it, I wish one of them did it. Ron Howard would be great too, but then again, we got to see Ron Howard do Solo. But he did a very good job on Solo, by the way, given the circumstances. But yeah, I want to see Steven Spielberg's Star Wars film. All right, what's next?
From Matt Tueen, sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Mataween.
One of two. Kenobi chapter plots match the first 6 Star Wars movies in numerical order. 1, a princess needs help and a Jedi's asked to help. 2, a bounty hunter's chase scene through a Neon City underworld and we see our first clone trooper.
And
3, Kenobi and Vader fight. 4, without spoiling it, someone's interrogated, there's a rebel base, and rescue mission. I predict 5 will mirror Empire Strikes Back and 6 will mirror Revenge of the Sith.
I mean, even just natural story tropes seems to suggest that's the way it's going. That's that's actually a pretty good way of breaking it down, man, because that does seem to be the way we're going. I was so convinced we were going to get a flashback episode, and now I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure now. And I really did thought we were going to see Hayden Christensen.
I wasn't going to bring it up because I didn't know if that was a spoiler or not, and I'm really bad about that. But yeah, where has he been? He's
been there. We just
where?
haven't.
Guys, you saw
Oh, I don't remember. I did,
in the first few moments, there's a little skin.
You mean of last episode?
No, in this one at the top. When there's the juxtaposition.
That's him?
I mean,
That no, I
in
think
theory.
that's
But we see them all in the makeup and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, there was in last
Oh,
episode.
you want pretty Anakin.
Yeah. We actually
Okay.
see Hayden Christensen.
Okay.
yeah,
right?
that could have been anybody.
That's fair.
Because in the last episode, we did get a brief moment of him where Obi-Wan, when they get to that planet before they get picked up in the truck, Obi-Wan's looking around. He thinks he sees a Jedi figure in a robe standing on the hill, and then the head turns and it's Hayden Christensen just
Yeah.
for a split second.
Okay, so
Okay.
you want more of that. Okay,
Yeah,
fair,
yeah,
fair.
a little
Okay.
bit more of that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna advertise Hayden Christensen, give me Hayden Christensen, not just like a little over the shoulder nod. It's not enough.
All right, what's next?
From Todd. For your daily dose of feeling old, Kim Possible celebrated its 20th anniversary yesterday. Here's a raised glass of liquid IV and one of Disney's last great animated shows. Oh, call me, beat me if you want to reach me. If you want to fax me, that's okay.
What?
Yeah. You guys.
I have no idea what you just said.
It was a cartoon about a teenage spy named Kim Possible,
Okay.
who did freelance spy work when she wasn't at school being a cheerleader with her buddy Ron Stoppable, who had a naked mole rat as his pet.
And what was the saying?
That was the theme song. It was
Cheat me, beat me.
Call me, beat me. If you want to reach me, if you want to fax me, that's
Oh,
okay.
call me, beep me.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
you said call me, beat me.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
No.
what kind of show is this?
This is a show from the 90s.
It's
Beep, you gotta
Disney.
beep
God.
me, and then you can fax me if you need to reach me. And all the Gen
Okay,
Zers are
that
like,
makes-
"What's the fax?
That
What's
makes
a beep
far
fax?"
more sense. Okay.
All that matters is my husband's in the chat applauding me. That's right. You married well.
All right, what's next?
From 1253 Sir 3. Best YouTube comment I've read about the Star Wars Blu-ray editions. I've altered the original trilogy. Pray I don't alter it further.
Yeah, this has kind of been George Lucas's thing before Disney took it over from. It's like, George, please stop. Stop doing what you're doing. All right, what's next?
From Southius. That Asian pilot that helped...
Never mind, move on.
Okay. Rafael Castillo. Sending in a $20 super chat. Thanks, Rafael.
Thank you, Raphael.
Loved Ms. Marvel. It was clever, funny, touching, poor Abu, and simply delightful. Aman Vellani is utterly charming and adorable. The show is visually stunning. I love her friends and can't wait to see more of them.
Now, look, and to be fair, we all come to various forms of entertainment looking for different things. And if you're going to Ms. Marvel thinking you're going to get your standard Marvel thing where there's going to be a big action sequences and big heroes and the city in peril and all that kind of stuff, you may walk away a little bit disappointed because that is just not what this show is. And that's totally understandable. I just went in with a clean slate, no expectations, just show me what you're going to show me. Fell in love with this show. It's going to be hard for it to maintain that, I think, because that first episode was fantastic. So let's see what it does with episodes 2 and 3. All right, what's next?
From Andy, the weapon that the boys are looking for to kill Homelander is Soldier Boy, because if anything's going to kill a godlike being, it's going to be Dean Winchester.
That's right. It's got to be Dean. By the way, it's so great seeing Dean Winchester again. First of all, they've got to have a scene with Dean and Bobby. They've got to have that. I don't know how they're going to do it, but you got to have a scene with Dean and Bobby. I'm dying to see that. All right, what's next?
From Bobby Jackson, without spoiling anything for Ms. Marvel, it seems to me that Vision's sacrifice or death and overall presence in the overall public perception within the MCU goes unnoticed. Is that done on purpose?
I don't know what it is you're asking.
I believe at AvengerCon, there's not a lot of people dressed up as Vision.
Yeah, I don't think I saw any Vision
Yeah.
at Avengers.
So-
You know what? But now I'm going to have to go back and watch AvengerCon frame by frame
Right.
because there was a lot of people.
There's so
First of all,
much going on.
People there who were not Avengers at all were there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to go through frame by now. Yeah, okay, now you've made me curious. I'm going to have to go in there and check
and
it
everyone
out.
should check out all the fan art too that you see on the con floor.
Yes, it looked
So good.
amazing. All right, what's next?
From Orlando, I watched Ms. Marvel today and I loved it. Can't wait for the rest of the episodes of the series.
You know, I've said all the time, it is by far better. Stats have proved it. It's not even a question. You can't debate it. It is much smarter and better for them to release episodes 1 week at a time. Oh, but I wish, a little part of me wishes that Ms. Marvel was a Netflix show right now because I would binge the hell out of all the episodes today. All right, what's next?
From Kiwi, after episode 4 of Kenobi, my thoughts on the show is that I'm enjoying it, but for some reason, it's not fully engaging me as it should.
And
Well, that's more than the rest of us.
yeah, I mean, like you were saying, Aaron, too, like one episode, next episode, it's like a bad relationship. You know, one
was
thing.
Chris.
Oh, was that Chris? Okay, you said it too. You're like episode 1.
Oh yeah, it fell. It has started to just
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
staircase down.
I mean, so look, the original person who wrote in the email to say, you know, can episodes 5 and 6 save this show? Yes, they can. This episodes 5 and 6, if they crush it, will save this show. Will they? Episode 4 doesn't give me a lot of hope.
But I don't see how there could all of a sudden be this complete 180 from what we've seen. I mean,
Would you say that episode 5 could give you a new hope?
oh wow. Oh,
See myself out, guys. Thanks so much. My time here.
Now, if you had said
Chris Carr,
episode
everybody, let's give her a round of
4,
applause.
All right, what's next?
From Drew, sending in an almost $20 super chat. Thank
Thank you, Drew.
Gosh, I love the Ms. Marvel episode. Not only were the characters great and relatable, but the direction and visuals are awesome. I'm a sucker for creative camera work and editing. God, I love the MCU.
You know, I was just criticizing that. I kind of feel like they're not putting all their effort, all their true effort into these shows, right? But Ms. Marvel episode 1 is a total reflux of that, because every frame is tons of creativity and effort that's being put into, like, oh, you know what? It can't just be riding a bike by down the street as we're hearing dialogue. Let's have all these other creative, imaginative, fun things going on in the frame all the time. By the way, can I also just say, going back to the whole John Hughes comparison, stuff like that, it was so great because we meet a character when she's walking through the halls at high school that you think, there's the high school bitch. But she's not really. And I love that they're giving us a little bit different sort of thing of that. Even that one character to me kind of becomes a representation just of how great the show is.
Yeah, I was actually kind of annoyed when she was walking through the halls because I go, here we go again. It's the same old trope. But then, you know,
They throw you a little curveball, right?
Yeah, they throw you a little. I was like, okay, she hates her brother, and then the brother turns out to be actually like pretty cool, and you just go, it was a little bit like, okay, well, never mind. I'm going to stop making assumptions because you know what happens when you assume things.
Yep, that makes
You're
an
just
ass
an
out of
asshole.
you and you, is what I always say. All right, what's next?
From Suthius, though I'm a guy, I'm Asian and was raised in a strict household. Much like Mei Mei, I also relate with Kamala. A lot of parallel between the two.
I mean, this is what I was meaning. Like, whether you're watching Turning Your Radio or watching something like this, I love this kind, or My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which is like one of my all-time favorite movies. You realize that on the surface, we look different because with our various cultural backgrounds, but underneath the surface, it's all the same. It's the same issues. It's the same mom. It's the same struggles. It's, and I there's something on a human level that makes me really appreciate that. Oh my God, the driving test stuff. I was going to die. Anyway, yeah, absolutely. Okay, what's next?
From Jordan, my wife is being induced tomorrow with our first kid.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
What are your favorite parent movies? Mine is Chef. Rosemary's
Chef?
Baby.
I mean, I mean, every movie where any character has a kid is a parent movie, right?
But Parenthood has one of the best monologues about being a crappy parent ever, and it's given by a very young Keanu Reeves when he says, you need to have a license to catch a fish, but they'll let anybody be a dad. And it's just talking about how, like, yeah, anybody, gets to be a parent, but like, you have to actually prove that you know how to drive a car in order to get a driver's license. You have to prove that you are not going to catch the wrong size of fish to get a fishing license. But to be a parent, you just gotta, but for some of us, it takes a little bit longer, but I think that is just, congratulations. As a new parent myself, I will say that if you have your why of like, why did we do this? Not just because I'm supposed to have a baby, but if you have a strong reason of like, why did we want to have a kid? In those moments at 3 a.m. where you're like, I just want to go to sleep, remember your why, and then look at your baby and go, oh, right. You know what? It'll make it a little bit easier, I promise. But
Father of the
Parenthood.
Bride, by the way.
Oh,
Father of the Bride
that's a
is
really
one
good
I'll
one.
go with.
Begin Again is a good one. That's a really great one. With
not familiar with that
Keira
one.
Knightley and Mark Ruffalo are in it. But
Yes, okay, yes,
some
yes,
really
yes,
good
yes.
stuff in there. But I understand Chef because of that beautiful, beautiful monologue too of do you like this? Because I love this.
Right.
And that's the best.
All right, so our show is already over time, so we're going to really pick up the pace here. Okay, what's next?
From Sam Fisher, it's been so long, I feel like Black Adam can't possibly live up to its own hype. At this point, I'm watching this movie for Brosnan, Dr. Fate, and Aldous Hodge.
I'll be honest with you, Sam. I don't know what hype you're talking about. I really don't. I mean, like, hey, The Rock doing Black Adam. Yeah. I don't sense a lot of huge, like, I'm not sensing huge expectation from a lot of people. Like, I'm excited for it, but I think most people kind of know this won't necessarily be the next comic book movie to be nominated for Best Picture, but we'll see. All right, what's next?
From Keontae Wren, Willem Dafoe as second Joker. Second Oscar incoming.
Yeah, I really don't like it when they turn an internet meme into something they try to do in the movie. So I love Willem Dafoe, but probably not. All right, what's next?
Dr. J sending in a $21 super chat.
Thank you, Dr. J.
If I'm David Zaslav, I'm installing a 1960s bat phone with a direct line to Chris Carr. If Chris tells me that our new movie project doesn't exist or she wants to stab it with her lightsaber, I'm dragging my creative team. Yes.
I mean, listen,
I'm the axe. It's
Smart.
me.
Zaslav right now is surrounding himself by really smart people. And that's the best thing. That's the best thing that really smart leaders do is they surround themselves with really smart people. And yeah, to get on the phone with Chris Carr would be a very, very good move. But look,
Oh,
he's
I
already.
thought you were going to say I was going to bring the room down.
Oh, no.
That was so nice, John.
But he's already doing it. His consigliere right now is kind of Alan Horn, who's the
Yeah.
greatest movie executive of the past 20 years. He's talking to the right people. And that's the thing that always gives me a lot of encouragement when I see leaders and people in charge who surround themselves with smart people. And that's kind of what he's doing right now. All right, what's next?
From Ashton, Bernthal is so good in We Own This City. It had me thinking he was a bad person in real life.
Bernthal is an underutilized talent in the business. I don't know what the obstacle is. I don't know what that one thing is that's preventing him from really breaking through. But he has shown over and over again, whether it's Ford v Ferrari or whether it's Punisher or whether it's
King Richard.
or King Richard, of course, which, you know, the movie you were in as well. I don't know how much more does he have to prove it? He's a world-class talent. I don't know what's the obstacle.
But unfortunately, as we've seen with many talented performers and directors and writers, a lot of it is really about representation. I mean, the difference between someone being a star and just being a working actor or really having to struggle to get jobs at all, so many times comes down to agents. I mean,
Yeah.
I switched agents and my career totally changed. And then I switched agents again and then it totally changed again. I mean, it's really, if you don't have the right salesperson, you know, it's all about the sales. You got to have somebody that's going out there and, you know, making the sale.
All right, what's next?
From Drew, sending in an almost $20 super chat.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Drew.
Another one. Also want to say that I appreciate all of you so much. You give us the knowledge to have intelligent film discussion without turning us into pretentious snobs. Love it.
Well, thank you for that. You know what? One of the things I used to say back when I was at AMC and we did AMC Movie Talk, one of the things that we used to say to open the show was also our goal here today is to, when you're having conversations with your buddies later today about movies and TV, that you will know just a little bit more than they do. That's
like it.
kind of our goal. And so if that's what's happening for you, that's awesome. Thank you for writing that, man. That's really a nice thing for you to say. And we're really glad that you're here, part of our community, dude.
And we're hoping that you'd become a pretentious douche by watching the show.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
From Christopher Mendez, we need Chris Carr to be the villain in the next installment in her favorite franchise, The Fast and the Furious. Oh, man. Let's put in a girl who can barely drive, just, like, always has a car problem. I'd be great. And has never seen an actual film except for Hobbs and Shaw. I'd thrive
I
in
think
this
you'd be great if you just went, okay, why does that have to be so loud? Really, guys? That's just real. Isn't
I need to be in
necessary?
bed by 9:30, by the way.
Dumb, I'm not part of your family. This isn't a fucking Olive Garden. Okay? That's how that would go.
All right, what's next?
From Casey Mack. Another trailer hit the internet today. It's not much, but the first teaser for Rob Zombie's Monsters came out today as well. Yeah, we watched that.
Do. I mean, this is the wrong one,
That's
but still.
the Addams
I
Family.
know, but do. It sucks. It's a terrible trailer. That movie's going to be awful.
I said to Chris Carr, I said, oh, it looks like Rob Zombie, his kids are old enough to watch movies now, and he decided I need to make a movie that my kids can watch.
I was like, they're not checking out The Hills Have Eyes? Is that not kid friendly?
Listen, I respect the homage to the original series.
100.
I respect that. But you got to make it look like it's something worth watching. That looked like a YouTube meme. Again, look, we've seen great promos for terrible stuff. We've seen terrible promos to great stuff. So I'm not going to judge this project based, but I did think that they shouldn't have released this.
No.
I'm just going to say they shouldn't have released it. It did nothing for it, in my opinion. All right, what's next?
From Mega Movie Z. Hey, John and crew, did you hear the news? Brett Goldstein just announced that Ted Lasso Season 3 will be the final season. Thoughts? I love the show.
This was one of our main topics yesterday on the show. What he said specifically was, we have written season 3 as the final season. He did also say, like, never say never, who knows what'll happen. But he did confirm that he, who is one of the writers of the show as well, said, we have written season 3 as the final season. That doesn't mean the door is completely closed, though, but it seems like that's what the plan is.
Those shortbread cookies are available at Go Get 'Em Tiger, by the way. Yeah.
Really? Love shortbread cookies
Yeah, the ones that she eats.
that he makes for her. Right?
Aw.
They're good.
All right, what's next?
From Andy, the visual style of Ms. Marvel feels like the MCU's take on Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Absolutely. I've been saying a John Hughes directed Big Fat Greek Wedding with a pinch of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That's a great addition to that analogy. Perfectly set up, man. That's exactly right. All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher, Madness for Two is the perfect name, Joker 2.
Yeah, I don't like the French phrase. That doesn't roll off the tongue. Madness for Joker, madness for
Folie
two.
à deux.
That sounds great.
Well, it rolls off the tongue if you're French.
Well, sure. But Joker hyphen madness for two, that's a good title. I like that. All right, what's next?
From Q again, sending in a $50 super chat.
Thank you,
Oh my gosh,
Q, so much, man. That's incredibly generous of you. Thank you for supporting us on that level.
Also, finally watched Hamilton on Disney Plus to see what
Nice.
the hype was about. Normally don't like musicals, but by God, this was amazing. I was in tears at the end when they performed Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells
Oh,
Your
yeah.
Story. Such a powerful song.
Listen, when it comes to musicals and stage performances, I have the same philosophy as I do with baseball. It's way better to watch it on TV because watching in person, frankly, is kind of boring.
What?
But Hamilton, I've only seen two shows more live than I have Hamilton, and that's not my number one show of all time, Les Mis, and Lion King. Hamilton in person, I've seen it 4 times live. You got to see it live. Like you got to see Hamilton live, and they did a great job on Disney Plus, capturing the spirit of it, capturing it beautifully. They really, really did. But if you get a chance to go out and see it live, you really should. It's one of these stage shows that lived up to the hype. Like Anne was all excited about seeing Cats, and then she went to go see Cats. And this is before the movie came out. Then she went to go see Cats. She's like, "What? Why does this show have a place in
Because
history?"
Angelical's
brilliant.
King. Angelical
hates it.
do.
Magical Mr. Mistopheles does like 17 fouettes in a row.
It's really amazing. That's the first show I ever saw.
Same.
Yeah. Anne finally saw it.
Oh.
She hated it. She
Well,
absolutely
Anne
hated
just
it.
has terrible taste.
Maybe.
Anne sucks.
She
Anne,
doesn't
you
have
suck.
great taste in men. So I mean, look, there you go. I don't know.
Touche.
All right, what's next?
From Murray. So, in honor of them doing adult Winnie the Pooh film, what kids' movie property should they do next in R rating?
I mean, look, first of all, it's got to be a property that's now gone into the public domain like Winnie the Pooh has. First of all, I am dying to see that movie.
Oh,
that's
gosh.
what's it called again? Blood and Honey. That's right. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That's going to be amazing. Other than that, I mean, it would be things that you guys wouldn't know. Because there were some things we had as kids growing up in Canada that I don't think you guys had here. Like, I don't think you had Mr. Muggs. Mr. Muggs is a big sheepdog thing, and that was great. Did you guys have the Barbapapas?
No.
Oh, the Barbapapas. What they were just literally these pear-shaped blob-like creatures. There's a papa Barbapapa, a mama Barbapapa, like 4 kid Barbapapas, whatever, and they could all change shapes and do whatever. Yeah, if they became maniacal murderers, that would be pretty cool.
I
too.
want Gem and the Holograms versus the Misfits live action
Curious George.
And done well.
and done really well.
Curious George as a
would be messed
murderous
up.
monkey. There's your $1 billion idea.
What about, did you guys ever watch Mr. Bumpy? His name is Mr. Bumpy. He goes bump in the night. And he was a little like boogery looking guy, and he lived under beds.
Yeah, I can't handle flum
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
I won't even eat flan for that
In the
reason.
chat, this is a great one, The Great Mouse Detective.
Oh, turn
That'd
that
be
one adult.
excellent.
All right, what's next?
From Orlando, you guys should watch Fire Island on Hulu. Great movie for Pride Month. I did watch it, Orlando. It's soup's cute.
Never heard of it.
Oh, I heard good things about it.
It's
I heard
fun.
it was really cute.
It is. It's queer Pride and Prejudice set on Fire Island. It's magical.
Okay.
Great
honestly,
soundtrack.
I hear the title. I thought it was about the music festival.
Oh, Fire Festival.
Yeah, I thought about Fire Festival. All right, what's next?
From James, why does Kamala's dad kind of look like David Cross?
He totally does.
Because David Cross looks like everyone.
Yeah. But now that
David
you
Cross
mention-
can look like anyone.
I never thought about it watching the show, but you're absolutely right. He totally does. All right, what's next?
From Thomas BDL, sending in a $21 super chat. Thanks, Thomas. Hi, John and team. A huge thank you to Ray and Jonathan for saving my naively ambitious 4-part super chat about Ted Lasso yesterday. If you ever come to Belgium, I'll treat you to some of the best beers. Love to you all.
Oh, hi.
You know
I would
what?
be
And I
friends
think
with
that's
you.
I think that's a clever way of doing Tom Bombadil. I think that's what he's doing with the name there. Which,
Thomas.
if so, that's pretty. That's
great.
well done. That's a good deep cut there. Yeah, listen, Ray works real hard. Like Ray's not just monitoring the live chat. He tries to make sure What's the best way? He's like a concierge.
I'm like the hotel guy.
He's
He's
the
the
man-
concierge of the
people.
Hotel Campea. He tries to make sure all of our live guests have what they need and is having as good a time as possible. He's looking after them. I mean, that's why Ray's the best.
Yeah.
Ray's the
Facts.
best.
Just want to make sure that you've felt like family, that you feel like you had a great experience.
Yes.
That you are not Olive Garden.
Yeah, you are.
There's a lot more jokes there. I'm not gonna.
And I'm sort of like Ian McShane and John Wick.
He's just managing the Hotel Continental back there, while Ray is the
That's
front desk
right.
guy.
I'm the guy.
Jonathan
You're the
is
guy.
the wizard, like behind.
Continental.
John is the wizard. He's just like doing
Pulling all the
stuff
strings
and
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
From we're just ending with some support now. Fredo and Fangblaze71. Thanks,
Fredo!
guys.
Thank you guys for supporting us in that. And guys,
Wait, John.
Ray.
I just want to run through these quickly just because
Sure.
I didn't want to miss them. Casey Mack gifted 5 John Campea memberships.
Thank you, Casey. That's amazing.
I got Tumbling Tornado. He gifted 10
What?
chips earlier. That was Leo Lang writes, I didn't know how different Lord of the Rings theatrical edition was from the extended.
Oh, yeah.
Until
Yeah,
my
very
friend
different.
convinced me to watch it. It was like night and day. Thanks for the movie club series on these guys. Appreciate you all.
Thanks so much. Of course, we did our third and final installment of our Lord of the Rings movie club yesterday with Return of the King. It is up on the channel right now.
Okay, and Dominique Summer writes, if Obi-Wan falls flat in the last 2 episodes, it is time to maybe just let Filoni and Favreau just handle Mandalorian and find others to oversee the new shows and development.
Well, I don't think. Look, Filoni and John Favreau, obviously magnificent job with Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2. Not so great with Book of Boba Fett. And I don't know how directly involved they are with Obi-Wan. I honestly don't know. I don't know if they're just executive producers at like in name only or whether they were really hands-on involved. I don't know. But I mean, here's the thing. We as an audience, we are too reactionary to what just happened. Like somebody can put out 5 great things and they put out something that's bad. They're like, never let them direct anything again. It was like, whoa, hold your horses. And the opposite. Sometimes people put out like 6 things that are awful and then put out 1 good thing. They're the best thing ever. I mean, we are guilty of that as film fans. We do that sometimes, but let's give them a little bit more of a runway here to see what they can do rather than just overreact a little bit too much to one bad thing, but we'll see.
Okay, I got 2 more, just real quick.
no.
All right.
Corey Hensley says, starting to think my recent indifference to post-Endgame Marvel and modern Star Wars has nothing to do with my 2019 divorce making me dead inside.
Oh, jeez.
And we're gonna end on a happy note where The Chosen Girl says, love the first episode of Miss Marvel. This is what I needed to get me hyped for Marvel again. It was fun and heartfelt. Best Marvel Disney Plus since WandaVision.
I agree. This is the first time I've seen something Marvel on Disney Plus that I said, this is great. Because I have, even with some of the stuff I've liked, I haven't felt that before. All right, guys. That'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making this show a part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in those super chats. Number 1, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number 2, you supported this channel as you did it. And all of us involved here at the John Campea Show, thank you guys so much for your support. I want to thank the people sitting around the table with me. We got Chris Carr, we got Aaron Cummings and little Joey Bishop, we got Ray Ora over there, and of course, running the show, producer Jonathan Voico. I am, of course, John Campea, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. Join us a little bit later today at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for our, what is sure to be a lively discussion between me and Rob about Obi-Wan Episode 4, and then at 7 p.m. Los Angeles time, Pacific Standard Time, for our open spoiler discussion of Episode 1 of Ms. Marvel. That'll do it for us, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. My name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.